It's not working.
Let's go, baby! Bomb arrows to the rescue. Ha!
Yo, Pin.
Ah! No! Oh, that assist, baby! No! Don't touch him. No! You... What did I do? That's an accident. Frickin' Vito. I got the triple collapse! Oh! Ah! Oh, Dinell, go to the fire thing. It teleports us.
I want my money back.
I trusted you! Trombone. This one is trombone. Yo, I got it! Yes! Let's go! Yeah! 24 hours done. 24 hours finished. Oh, time to beat 23 hours, 28 minutes. Oh my god! We did it! We did it! Oh my god! I couldn't have done it without you guys.
Holy shit.
Wait, it went through? I gave him $50. Super Smash Bros? Look at my face. Jesus Christ. Oh. Super Smash Bros? Super Smash Bros? Everything good. Hopefully all the audio is good. I haven't played this game in so long. I guess. I gotta practice. Oh. Wait, can I do this? Can I practice alone against bots? I could do that, right? Stock battle. Okay, I could. Just a bit level 1, bro. Like level like 7. I don't want to pick someone random. I don't remember how to play this game. 5 seconds later, remembers. Dinell is on Mario Kart. Oh yeah, I remember now. I remember. Wait, what? Okay, I don't remember. Ow! How do I do things? Wait, what? Oh. I forgot how to play this game. Oh. There's so many no, I don't remember how to... How do you fight? I feel like such a noob. Oh, I remember this. Oh, okay. I think I'm remembering. Ow. Yes! Okay, I think I'm remembering. Yeah, I'm remembering. Ah! Ah, yes. Ow. I'm losing to a bot. Let me at least get 1 kill on it. Ah! Wait. Okay. Oh, shit. I ran into that. Oh, I remember now. Oh, I ran into that too. Oh, I was lucky. Whoa, what was that? I feel like I want to make the volume louder here. Barely hear the game. Hey, Epicuro, how you doing? How are you, man? Glad to see ya. Today I'm doing early today. Yeah. I might start streaming earlier if it's better for people in general. But oh, I'm versing a bot right now. In a few minutes I'm gonna verse another streamer in this game, and then we're gonna do Mario Kart. So that's the plans for today. Yeah, we're gonna play at 7, so I guess I'll hit him up soon. Is earlier better for you, Epicuro? Or like it depends on the day, or it's like... Oh, let's see if he messaged me. He has not messaged me. Whenever you're ready, just call. Tomorrow I'm getting my wisdom teeth removed. Oh, damn. So I'll have plenty of time of watching your stream. Aww. Depends on the day. That makes sense. Ah. Damn. I've never had to get my wisdom teeth removed. Good luck with that. Hey, you Pong. Yeah, Pong. Let me get first then, Jimmy. Bro, I'll just let Gamer play instead. For me. I'll just let you play for me, and then we'll win, yeah? But yeah. Are you good at Smash? Epicuro, have you played Smash? Hey, thanks for the bit, bro. Look at my boy Kakashi there. Arigato gozaimasu. Huh. I think I'm gonna... Very decent. I feel like I'm okay. I don't think I'm that good, but I feel like I'm okay. I'm trying to see with the music. I don't want it to be too loud. Or not music, the game volume. I'm ready for Jimmy, by the way. Whenever he's ready. If you wanna tell him. If not, that's fine too. I'll tell him. Ugh. He wasn't answering his Discordo. I did one practice battle, and now I remember how to play. I did not Uber Eat today. I didn't in a couple of days. It was raining a lot today, actually. I think. But mostly because I've been focused on other stuff, but... I should. I really should Uber Eats. I really should. I really should. You made an arena? Nope. I forgot I have to do that. Good point, gamer. Good point. I could just do this one. Oh. I don't remember playing on, like... I usually play local with my brother. Whenever I do play. Ooh, how do I do this shite? I go to online, yeah? Thanks. Thanks for the bit again. Omega stages, please. No items unless Smash Orb. Yeah, I usually don't put... Well, that's the thing. I want to talk to him on Discord so we could discuss the thing. I usually don't put items at all. What are Omega stages, though? Yeah, I have to go back to Uber Eating. I've gotten lazy on that front, unfortunately. It's hard to go... It's hard to push myself to go every day. Online tournament? The hell? Wait, is this like a real tournament? I don't want to do no online tournament. Yeah, this is different. Add amiibo so he can suffer too. Wait, what is that? Like the amiibo characters? I think I have all the characters. I think FD stage. I don't know what that means. Sorry, I'm a noob when it comes to Smash. Oh, here, do I just... Oh, Battle Arena, yeah? Oh, it is? Oh, okay, cool. I like using the amiibos. Fight seriously or not? Goof off, throws only. Oh, that's what you meant. Amiibo battle. Pit an FP you've trained against another's FP. I didn't even know that's a thing. Can we just play like normal? Anything goes, I guess. Friends. Format. One-on-one. Final destination. I think I'll just put random. Some rules don't apply to the battle arena, so the rules have been temporary. Huh? What? Do you need a time limit? I didn't even mention you, doctor, but okay. What's up, bro? No, not random. Why? Random's good. Press Y. Oh, I see. More settings. Thank you. Max players will put 2 for now. I don't mind playing this with viewers too. I think that would be fun, but I think he wanted to do Mario Kart after. We'll see like what he wants also. Stage, I would rather want random, but I guess I'll leave choice. Oh, you could do voice chat. Room music. Yo, there's really good Pokemon music. What is it? Oh, I actually want to put room music. What is he doing, by the way? Is he getting ready? This one. Oh, this song is so good. Oh, this song's so good. No rotation. This should be good. Oh, password. Ooh, I could make it password protected. Oh, that's cool. This song is so good, guys. Hopefully I don't get copyright thing from it, but... Wait. Okay. All right. Turn amiibo on. Isn't voice chat through mobile or some No idea. Voice chat on Nintendo app. Not random because you can get a bad stage on random. Okay. I don't know what would be considered a good... Oh, I missed a call from Jimmy. I'm a dumbass. Oops. I don't know why I didn't get notified from... What does amiibo do again? Like, it looked like you had to train your amiibo or something. I didn't know what that was, so I just kind of ignored it. Yo!
What's up, Ping?
What's up? I made an arena. You
did?
Yeah. Is that okay?
That is totally okay.
Okay.
Can someone in chat, by the way, tell me if the audio is good? You can hear Ping and me fine?
I'll send you the code, though. I put a password. You know?
Okay.
I wouldn't mind playing this with viewers afterwards, also. If you wouldn't mind. But if you want to just go to Mario Kart, like, that's fine, too.
The only reason why I was hesitant about it, because every time I've tried streaming this game with, like, multiple people, it always doesn't work. 1v1s are usually fine, but, like, you know, not as laggy. But then when you get multiple people, it becomes a total lag fest.
Ah, that's fair.
Nintendo just sucks.
That's fair.
We can try it.
We could also do, like, 1v1s, like, winner stays on or something. But then...
Yeah.
Yeah. Why 2 players? You can make it more than 2. 2 players... Yeah, I should have made it more. But I could make another arena worst case scenario. But yeah, I send you the password, so don't show the password on stream.
Hold on, okay. You can see my view face. Okay, hold on. Let me do that right now.
Okay. I think his audio should be good. Oh, the audio of him, me, and the game should be good now. He showed it on stream. Nah. What's the password then, gamer? It's a very intricate password. Not many people know.
Sorry, I did not show the username on the password on stream. It was a very intricate password, though. Very hard to guess.
Yeah. Definitely not 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, no. All right, I'm gonna try one.
Wait. How do you
not-
pick? I haven't. I haven't done this in so long. Oh, change fighter. Oh, I see. Sorry. Go ahead.
Hold on, I got a question for chat real quick.
You can't ask them what's good against my character. That's cheating. Huh? Wait, did it start? Oh, okay. I love this song. Does it really matter which one it is? Oh, random Omega form. Is Omega the one that's more simple? I know my brother likes to put certain maps because he like plays a lot.
I'm back. What? Yeah, no, I play all the time. I'm crazy.
All right, let's see who wins.
I'm kidding. I have like no experience with this game.
Should I go easy then? I mean, I'm not amazing, but I'm not like, you know,
I'm
complete
bad.
noob. All right, I'll go easy then. Just kidding. What's up,
Alright, if you
Dino?
wanna go easy, just give me 1 second to just mine some resources.
All right,
Thank you very much.
I got you.
Yeah. Oh, you're actually letting me. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, I found some diamonds. Okay, all good.
I haven't played in a while, so I'm gonna be.
What's the jump button?
I'm
Oh, it's
gonna kill
Y.
myself, possibly.
Okay, I was. Oh my god, no, dude, I'm already dead. Oh my god. I hate it here. Oh my god. What's up, Ping? How we doing?
What's up? Bro, I don't even need to hit you. You'll just kill yourself, so it's okay.
I know.
My guy's
Alright,
sleeping.
Okay, yeah, while you're sleeping, I'm gonna buy for some resources if you don't mind.
I thought you were gonna put TNT. Bro, jump!
I'm jumping! I can't! What the fuck? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to pick a different person.
Maybe. Do you know how to do you know how to recover?
How do I recover again?
It's like up B.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you'll want to do that right now. Too easy! Yo, what's up, Swift?
I'm thinking someone else. I fucking can't. I was literally doing it. I don't know.
It's okay.
1 minute. That was like the quickest first round of your life. Oh my god. God, I hate it here.
My brother is really good at Smash Paragon. So I'm like average, maybe below average. I'm like I'm okay, but he hasn't really played before. We're doing one-on-ones now, but I want to do more Smash on stream, like with viewers, and I want to hold a tournament in the near future. So look out for that. Are you competitive?
No, after that was the worst first impression ever.
That's okay.
Oh, they're betting channel points on it. Oh god.
they should bet channel points on if I'll lose 1 stock. Just kidding. Maybe you're gonna own me now. Maybe you're holding back, yeah?
Yeah, that was actually just a flat out warm up.
You're just spamming, yeah?
Oh no, never. I never spam. I'm not a spammer. No! No! Go up! Up B! Thank you.
Oh, I died.
Literally get exploded on thing. No, wrong way.
This way, yeah. Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Stop Yeah, there we go.
Have some bombs. Have some more bombs.
No thanks. Yeah! I love doing that. Countering is so...
Literally, why am I so bad with recoveries? Why am I so bad with recoveries? Literally, what? Literally, how do I recover, Ping? Is it up B?
Up B, bro. Like that. Yep,
Like
that's your
this?
recovery. But you can't like
Okay.
you can't spam it. You can only recover once until you land again. So you got to be careful with that.
Okay, maybe I'll do better now that I know that. Well, I'll try it again.
Yeah.
Do you even know some Mario Kart stage? No, I was just too.
A map's final destination. Everyone plays as Fox. Me and my buddies would do tier tournaments every week, and we'd each pick 15 characters each and 4-player free-for-all. Oh, that's so... Yo, 4-player free-for-all is actually so fun. I think local is really fun. Online lags a lot, apparently, from what Jimmy said and other people said. But, I mean, how much lag matters to me might not matter, so, in general. Because I'm not that good, so. Ping rings the prediction. Did you do a prediction? I didn't see it pop up. Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
All good.
Bless you.
No, I won't do it. Stop it.
Come on, bro.
Ah!
I just jumped over it, bro.
I'll hold it. It's okay. I'll hold it.
Hold it, bro. Oh, you're really bad. Oh, I died.
Dude.
You were gonna rage quit? Come on, bro.
Yeah, Literally, there was a point in time where it wasn't terrible. When was that?
Never past life, maybe? I'm just joking.
Yeah. I hate this game. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna keep playing because I'm gonna get it once. Okay, I'm gonna eventually get it once.
I want you to get
You
better. This is too easy, you know?
I know. This is so sad. Thank God we didn't do any. Imagine if we did punishments here.
Yeah. That would be bad.
All right.
This is like when my brother versus me. Nah, my brother's not that much better than me, but yeah. Yeah, you gotta learn how to recover better, I think. But I think Kirby's recovery is pretty good because she just floats when she jumps, I think, right?
Mhm.
So, plus you played Kirby, so you have some expertise.
Oh, true. I'm good at second. I like that. The down B is cool. Are you fucking kidding me? Immediately? Get in me.
No thanks, bro.
I know, my fucking god, I'm sorry. Literally, I need a swallow. Oh my god, fuck.
You need a swallow? What are you trying to swallow?
Swallow you, you're not letting me.
Shit. Oh, is Kirby a he? I don't know. What is Kirby? It? I'm not sure. Oh!
How did that not work?
Whee!
Kirby's an it.
Yes! I'll hop on for one game if you'll have me. I don't mind, yeah. But maybe a bit later, cause I don't know how long.
He's playing with the children right now.
Yeah, it does feel like I'm playing with like a little kid, but you know that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, like,
It's okay,
I'm not
it's
even
okay.
that good, so people who are like much better than me would feel the same way, you know,
Yeah.
playing against me.
I hit you.
You did, in fact, hit me.
Ah! Sorry. Kirby. I think it's your sheet. I just chill. Why don't you come down? How about you come down? Let me Q come up. Come on up.
Yeah, I'm up, bro.
I hate it here. I'm never streaming this again. I fucking can't.
Ow! You killed me.
Yes! Finally! Fucking something! Oh my god!
Yeah, I love how no one knows if Kirby is a boy or a girl. Apparently, the internet says Kirby is a boy.
I just got hit by the fucking cars. I can't. I hit him, guys.
There's a car. There's a car.
No! I went into I went. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do what?
That.
Oh,
That.
my bad, my bad. Kirby is short
It still
enough.
hit me? Oh my god! Are you fucking kidding, dude? Oh my god. I'm gonna need emotional support after this. I can't.
I kind of feel bad.
Thanks. That's all I needed to hear.
L plus carded. It's actually a cool map because it's Mario Kart, but... Why'd you drop your controller? You could have survived. Well, no, but you had a possibility.
Yeah, I guess there's always a possibility, guys.
Yeah. What if we had a bot to your team to make it more fair?
I'm so sad, but yeah. Maybe. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Well, how about I'll pick the map?
Okay. All right, Swift. I'll let you know if you know, there's a spot open for you to join in. Thanks for the lurk. My bad, bro. You should make it a 2v1. That's what I'm saying. But it's okay. I'm gonna go random character.
That's true. I have the power of half a man in this.
What if I give myself one stock? Oh, I don't even know how to use Dr. Mario.
Alright. Guys, this is the comeback.
Oh,
I know no one believes me, but you'll see. See, I'm already doing better.
I love this song.
See, guys, I'm already doing amazing.
True. I want to get back into Pokemon. I forgot how much I like
should.
Pokemon. Oh yeah, he has pills.
I don't like pills. No thanks. Dodge. Stop
You're an
it.
amazing dodger.
Actually, I'll swallow the pills.
Ew.
Where are they? Just to swallow! Kirby, you stupid idiot!
Eat your vitamins, Kirby.
You're kidding. Dude, I'm done. Stop it!
I feel bad, but I also feel good because I'm never good at this game when I play with people, so.
No, stop this! Stop
I'm
this
just
madness at
feeding your
once!
I'm feeding your vitamins. Damn, he's heavy.
Yes!
Oh, you became a chest from Breath of the Wild?
How did...
What does that do
Yes.
with the cape?
The what?
The cape.
Stop it! Stop it! Oh my god. Listen to D now. Spam plus flame up B.
Oh, spam
thank
that. That could be good, yeah.
Oh, thank you, D now.
Oh,
Oh my god, thank you, D now. See? Oh my god.
he twists. I didn't know he does that.
How you're at 6 to 9? Nope. How about you simply just don't? I'm back. Oh no, I'll read that in a second. I'm too busy losing.
Ow.
Yes! Yes! Yeah, no! No.
Oh, it reflects projectiles. Thank you.
My friend starts here. I just wanted to say hi. All good, all good.
Or is bad decision once it starts 9 p.m. Central. Oh, nice. Yes, Central. Wait, 9 p.m. Central. What is 9 p.m. Central? (9 p.m. Central). I can't think. Oh, it's like an hour before Eastern, right? Wait, how do I give? Oh yeah, you could give a glass of water with him. How do you do that? I don't remember.
Nope.
How do you do that? Ow.
No! Oh my gosh!
I just bounced on your head. I didn't even know you could do that.
No, no.
I'm East Coast. I live in New York.
I'm East Coast too.
Let's go. It's a pleasure to have you. Aw. Down B for normal Mario? Yeah, I don't know if he... Yeah, that's his down B. He just spins.
I can't even hit you. I can't even hit you. I can't.
Too obvious, man. Too obvious.
You said you saw that coming?
Yeah, it's too obvious. You're like trying to go above me.
Ah! I'm.
GG's.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Ah!
What are you, Chinese?
I can't do this.
GG's.
Jeez. Oh my god.
Okay, it's an hour ahead then. Okay. 7. Central time is an hour behind. Yeah, it's an hour behind. It's an hour behind. Okay.
You know what? If I'm gonna lose, I might as well lose in style.
Hey, go for the win, man. You were close there. I had over 100% damage taken.
That's true, but you know, I think this is gonna be I have a good feeling about this.
Donkey Kong. Oh, Steve. Lol. Oh, I forgot to press A.
And
9 p.m. your time, 10 p.m. my time. That sounds cool. Yeah, I'll see what you guys are up to. I would love to.
I'll win this time. See?
I didn't even know you could do
See?
emotes and stuff. Well, I don't know how to use this guy.
Nope. Stay back. I'm mining for resources. Stay back.
Ah, you throw them, right. And then you call them back. What else can you do? What's it? What the hell is that recover? Oh, he gets picked up. Ah.
I'm trying to go fishing.
Me too, here. Wait.
Okay.
You might win this. I don't know how to use this guy. Like, at all. Yo, set the TT... TT? The titty? Set the TNT
No,
on
you
fire.
you should go near it. You should go near it.
That's okay. How do I do that?
Oh my god! I didn't even meant to do the TNT. You can go
How
near
do
it
I
if you want.
throw them? Oh, like that.
I literally do not mean to place that down.
Those
Oh my god, that's so OP.
those little things don't do anything. This guy's so weird. You know, I'm not good. Oh yeah, that's how you call them.
I'll stop spamming that. I need to find
Oh,
what other
spam it,
releases he has.
spam it if you want. Like,
No. I wanna. There we go. That's a good one.
I'm trying to
Come
figure
on
out how
down,
to use
come
this
on
guy.
down. Oh my god.
the things
Oh
don't
my
do
God.
anything. Jimmy's a world
How are you not dead
champion.
yet?
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
How do I not won yet?
You have to hit me with a stronger move, I think.
What if I just did a simple little thing like that?
Then it won't kill me. Or maybe it will,
How about
because I have a lot of percent now.
That's true.
Those things don't do anything.
There we go, baby.
I don't know how to do like power with this guy. Maybe you just have to hit a lot of like little ones.
I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I was like the complete opposite way. I recommend Captain Falcon. Oh, the fucking Falco punch or whatever. It's so annoying.
Falco?
Alright. I want
We're
my
both-
resources!
We're both such noobs. Oh shit, you got a diamond? That's not good, right?
No, it's fantastic.
Wrong way.
Thank you.
Finally.
Give me a minute.
Uh,
Hold on.
I'm not cracked, Doctor. Jimmy is like a bot. That's why.
I'm doing better now than I was a few games ago, I think.
I've played with people that are much better than me, so I've gotten like good practice, I guess. So that's why I'm not like terrible, but not saying that Jimmy's terrible. He's like world champion status, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm also the world record holder
Oh.
of an Excite Bike Park, as you know.
Mm-hmm. They do. Oh, I almost ran into that. They do, you hit yourself.
I exploded myself, dude.
They do damage. They do damage when they hit you. I didn't know that.
Yo! Nope.
I have to call my little minions back.
Yeah, you call them. You call them.
Oh, what the hell's that? Oh, that's probably for projectiles.
Yes! 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 Oh my god!
What if I just wait for the timer to go down?
Let me have this one, please.
I don't know what else to do except throw these guys.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, thank you.
Can I change the direction of that? I wonder.
He just spit. Oh my god, oh my god.
Maybe
I'm
I'll
actually
just
so
hit
nervous.
you. Maybe I don't need them.
Yeah, you don't need him. Just hit me. Hold on,
'Cause
give
every
me
time
1
I-
second, ping.
Alright,
There
I
we go.
got you. A diamond sword? That's not good.
What? Okay, let me see what else I get. Hold on.
Nah, bro, I'm losing. I'm not holding
Okay.
on. I'm about to lose.
Damn it. Dude, just
Yes.
stop electricity!
I'm just gonna try to
Get
do
out of
that. That's the only way I could win, I think.
No! Oh my god.
I have to use these guys.
Nope, 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 nope. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Chill, chill,
Bro, it's the only
chill.
thing I could do.
No! Dude, No, I swear to God!
It's the only thing I know how to do.
I swear to God! Oh my god, okay, okay. Come on.
I don't know how to like kill you, bro.
God,
This
I
guy's
hate
so
it.
weird. Yeah.
Yes! Yes! Please! Please! Oh shit. Give me a second.
I'm not
Oh
gonna
my
win,
God.
but I'll get you down to 1 stock at least, hopefully.
Not if I have anything to say about it. God.
You're trying to like do the same thing over and over. I mean, so am I, but
I know I hit you with a sword there. I'm about to do this.
yeah.
Yes! Finally! I won one! Oh! Let's go! Oh my god.
Good job, bro.
Thanks.
Ping pong spammers. I had to. He kept spamming the Minecraft thing. I don't know how to use that
That's
guy.
good. Oh,
Like at all. If you win the next one, I'll give you a sub. I'll give you a sub. I'm not gonna pick a character though. I don't know if you heard that.
Alright, I'm back. So
Oh, welcome
what I
back.
hear?
No,
What I
nothing.
hear?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll do one more, Steve, then I'll switch it up.
Okay. Who's your best character?
Steve.
You could keep using Steve if you want.
I don't know. I want to experiment. I'm not even that good at Steve. I'm doing this for the meme. Hold on, wait. Just give me like one moment, one memento. Please, 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 please. Please, one memento. Just one moment. I need some resources. No, that's not one moment.
Nah, I'm not giving you a
okay.
moment.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Pichu takes too much damage from every hit.
Wow, you're good as this character.
Nah,
I feel like
it's
I'm
just
getting
really
rocked.
fast. Look how much damage. He does a lot of damage to himself.
Does he?
Yeah. But the more damage that he's taken, the stronger his hits, I think. I don't remember.
Okay.
And he's really fast. Why would you hit a Pokemon like that, bro?
Sorry, that was kind of mean, wasn't it? I'm trying to go fishing.
He's trying to fish for a Pokemon, bro? That's messed up.
Yeah. Come on, they lived their whole lives in balls. Okay, it's fine. I fucking hate this. You know what? Goodbye.
No, what do you mean? What happened?
Goodbye, cruel world. I was already at 130.
That's Lucario. Is Pichu the same? I'm not sure, but I know it takes damage from every like hit. Or every like move it does, you see?
Oh, I got you on 98. I'm so good.
Nope. I got myself on 98. You got me like 20%? I'm not sure. Maybe more.
I got an iron sword now. That
Very nice. Too obvious, bro.
okay.
Oh, that was good.
Hey!
I didn't
Thank you,
expect
thank
that.
No! Oh,
Ow.
there we go. There we go.
I should probably stop doing that.
No, bad Pokemon. Oh, good.
Damn it. His range is so low.
That was obvious. Oh my god.
Or maybe it doesn't do
just-
more damage.
I'm just surprised I beat you once, okay? That's all I need for tonight.
How has he not killed me? I don't know. He just did. Stop it, I'm gonna go fishing. Cream. Hey, what's up, Angel?
I'm trying to fish here. Let's go.
Oh yeah, that just teleports.
Bro.
Do it again, bro. Do it again.
Okay. And that did nothing. Yo!
That- That one did something. Did you just get wings and fly?
I did. Isn't it kind of cool?
Yeah, very cool. Ow.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, I forgot about his Thunderbolts. Oh yeah, I used to spam that in the Wii version for Pikachu, but
Oh no, oh no.
Pichu, I don't know how Pichu. Well, you shouldn't stand above.
Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Fuck! Ah! Oh my god! Ah, Jesus Christ.
Wait,
Hey,
you can mine anywhere, right?
Yeah. Oh my god, this is actually
1-1, bro.
I wish I could take a breather. I'm very nervous right now.
You're gonna win, bro.
No, I'm not.
You might.
I have no resources. I have no resources. If you want to give me like 2 seconds.
I got you, bro. Go ahead.
But actually?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know if I'll do that. Pichu
Why, I
OP?
believe
I
you.
don't. I looked it up. Recoil damage is obtained in exchange for increased damage and knockback. Okay. So it is kind of like Lucario then, I guess. If Lucario is like that.
I got a stone sword now. Look out, world.
So obvious.
No! No! Ugh! Oh my god! I hate it here. I hate it here. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate
I'm not
this, I
hitting
hate
you. I'm
this.
not hitting you. He's too
I can't
fast.
even fish. I can't even fish.
I don't know
It
how
was
that.
closer. It was closer.
It
okay?
was.
I'm getting.
It was.
I might be getting a little better.
I don't
maybe.
know how it went through the platform though. Okay. Oh wait, I misunderstood that. Recoil damage is obtained in exchange for increased damage. And knockback. Lucario deals more damage the more damage it is. Pichu is just strong but gets damaged when attacking. Ah.
All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a piss break. I mean pee break.
Yeah, me too actually. I gotta go pee pee.
Yeah, chat. If there's any people you want me to be, let me know. I need some suggestions.
If there's anyone you guys want me to be at. These are all the choices. And blocks have. Do Captain Falco? Let's see. When are viewers joining? Not sure. Can't give you an answer on that, unfortunately. Oh, why did I? Oh, I thought it started it
Hello?
for a second. Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
When are viewers joining has been a question. No idea. Unfortunately.
Oh.
The question. Oh wow.
Oh no. Oh no.
They did that on purpose.
Oh my god. Dino told me to pick Captain Falcon. Oh no. Oh no, it's over. GG's. What's his abilities even?
I don't really use them though. Oh yeah. What? How? It was the same time, bro. What?
I feel like you know the build up for the Falcon Punch, so it's a little like
You just hold it.
no, like you hear it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
What's his down B? Oh, that. Cool.
That. We're just gonna spam this shit.
Yeah.
I never really use these characters.
We should do the Falcon Punch at the same time again.
Nah, it's okay.
Why not?
I took too much damage last time.
Not a ton. You're okay. Oh my god! Wow. Stop it. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop it.
You know what I was doing. Unless you don't.
Not
Oopsies.
really. I was looking at you instead of me. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, fair enough. Hard to tell. Your shield's not gonna last. Oh yeah.
Really, what is going on?
When your shield breaks, you get confused. I don't know the most. I should have probably Falcon punched you, but whatever.
No!
That was close.
Why else facing the other way? No, wait, 1 second.
We hit each other, I guess.
Yeah. I am gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. I shouldn't have. Well, I shouldn't have been below like that.
Oh, I got so confused there. Falcon kick. Oh, that's his up B. Ah!
No!
Ow. Bro, how do I have so much percent and I'm still not dead?
I'm just that bad, I guess. What the fuck? I can't. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
What's up?
How's your day going?
That's okay. I wasted too much time today not getting enough stuff done, but aside from that...
Actually, same. Oh my god.
Oh shit. That was an accident. You told me to try it again.
No.
Bro, you should kill me at least once. Come on, I'm at 200%.
I know. The fact that I have it, this is so unlucky.
Oh shit.
Literally, what the f- you're...
Oh. Oh!
He shot it.
Bro, that's hilarious.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious. I forgot to put
Alright.
myself back up.
Pig, am I getting any better in the last 30 minutes than when I first started?
I think so, but I can't tell because I don't use most of these characters. I mean, the
Alright.
first few I did, but then I put random. No, I don't want to be.
No.
Where?
I don't want. I don't want either.
Okay. I did a new thing. Let's see if this works.
Hold on one.
Oh my god! Guys, it worked! It worked! Okay, so you guys could do exclamation... I don't know who's here, but you guys could do exclamation point clip to clip. And it actually clips on... Is this gonna show the right thing? Yeah. Look, it actually clips on the Discord channel. How awesome is that? Oh, that's so good. Alright, I'm back. Oh, that's awesome.
All right. I'll be Samus again. Actually, no. I'm gonna be my man right here.
Man?
Yeah.
You got a man's?
Yeah.
Okay. I just set something up and it worked. I'm so happy.
Yay.
Yeah, basically if you clip on the channel, like you could exclamation point clip to clip something, and it'll clip the last 30 seconds, and it'll post the clip on Discord. That's
Ooh.
pretty cool. Oh, Fairy's playing Super Mario Odyssey. Oh, I actually like this character, and I've
I
used.
have no.
Good luck.
I have no idea how to use Donkey Kong. I'm like, you funny monkey.
I've used this character before, so if it's really close, then I would say you got better since the beginning. Ah, wrong way.
No. Oh my god! Fuck me.
Oh,
Let's go.
I almost killed myself.
Dude. Dude!
What?
What's his down B? What's his down B?
Down? I don't know. Use
Oh my
it.
gosh, I can't. I hate Donkey Kong now.
Well, it's
Never
good.
forgiven.
I'm also using a.
Soft teabagging, I can't.
I'm also using someone I already kind of know how to use. Oh! Ah! I think you could kill me when you do that. Just like hold and press.
What if I went like this?
I don't know if that works. Water gun! Squirtle! Water gun!
What
you
are
not-
There's nothing.
Do you know how to phase through platforms?
No.
Okay, so if you're on a platform, you could just press down and it'll like phase through like this. Yeah,
Oh.
that's very useful. So, yeah. You might not want to do the same
Yeah.
thing over and over though.
I'm trying to test out his. Hold on. Well, like, don't hit me for a second. I won't hit you. So there's that. This.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, no.
There's killing
Okay.
yourself. Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Oh, I forgot about that one. I think.
Can we play a different game? Oh my god.
Oh!
I fucking-
Oh, this is my favorite thing. This is my favorite thing. Wait. This is my favorite move with any character that has it. Damn it! I messed it up.
I'm mad. That's me being mad.
I'm trying to do the thing. I'm not remembering it. Or not. I'm not remembering it. I'm just screwing it up. Come on! Oh. Do you know what I'm trying to do?
No clue.
Yeah, I think you could hold that thing to like power up his punch or something. What is?
How am I not? Go down, go down. Go down!
Double click. Try to double click quickly. That's what I
Okay.
do. But I don't know if that's the best thing to do. But damn it, I keep screwing it up.
Oh, let's go. I actually killed you.
Oh. Yes.
Ooh,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what
Oh,
I
no,
want to.
oh, no.
That's what I've been trying to do for the past like 10 minutes. And basically, it's a counter. So if you hit me, I hit you back. When
that's cool.
when you see characters that are able to do something like this, it's a counter. But I think you could
Oh, that's
grab
cool.
through a counter. Also, you wanna, if I'm above you, instead of like mindlessly like hitting like in front of you, try to hit above you or like jump up to me. Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. No! No! Hey, let's talk about this pic.
Okay. What's up?
How do you do that? Wait, how do you do that?
This?
No, the teabag.
I just go down enough. I think you.
Ah! I want to get that move, but whatever. I'll just. I'm crying.
Sorry.
Oh, I got some damage on you. Oh, let's go.
Yes! I killed you with a
Okay.
counter.
Oh my god.
Counters are like risky to do because it takes a while to recover from them and stuff, but they're fun. Isn't she high?
Yeah.
Bro, she's 15. What's wrong with you? I
Oh,
was,
you just set me up for that one. Oh my god.
I was just joking. I don't know how old she is.
Alright. I guess this is our last one ping.
Okay.
Oh no. So sad. I'll be Steve again.
She's 14.
God.
No. I don't know if she is. Someone just said that in chat. As a joke. Who did I not use that I like to use? Oh. Did I use? I don't think I used Lucina. What about viewers? Are you okay with me playing a bit with viewers before Mario Kart, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, so after this game, I'll play with you guys.
She's 26, says Shadow. Thank God.
I was joking around. She's not. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know how old she was, but she's hot. She's using an armor under the sunlight. Oh, best character against my best character. Actually, I don't know if this is my best character, but it might be.
I have no idea if this is mine.
Oh, I don't have
It's
the
definitely not.
DLC new. I don't have the DLC new characters. I forgot about that.
Damn it.
Oh, I hit your thingy back.
Can you give me a second? Give me a second.
Not bad. Oh, I thought you were about to kill you.
That would have been really funny. No, chill.
Do it. Oh, he surprised
Do
me.
what? Do what?
Nothing.
Do it by not doing the card thing?
Mhm. There you go.
We're learning. Oh, I got a diamond! It's not gonna matter, he's about to fucking die.
How many diamonds do you need? I don't know how that works.
I'm going out of here, see you later. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Doing it for me.
I really like the anime sword fighters. Yeah, I really like sword characters in general. Like in games, outside of games, I just think it's cool.
I love that minecart, dude.
Oh shit, that was cool.
Yeah.
They're the worst,
Oh,
therefore
no,
you're
oh,
them.
no, oh, no. Oh no.
Alright, Dinell, tell me that when you beat me with them. Without using them.
Ooh. Oh shit.
Bet. I don't have all the DLC. If
Oh
you
my god, what was that?
Yeah, I don't know. If you play with people who have the DLC.
Let's go.
Nice. If you play with people that have the DLC,
Alright.
do you get access to the characters too?
I don't think so.
What character?
Fuck it now.
I hit your TNT out of the map.
Wow. I want to go fishing.
Oh.
There we go.
You're just like, I'll just mine then.
What's wrong with mining? You need. Shadowco says no, you don't. To your question, by the way.
Oh, you don't? Okay, that makes sense. But no, DLC doesn't transfer to others. What character do I hate in terms of going up against or using? Because those can be different.
Yo! I was trying to fish. Me trying to. Oh my fucking god! One shot.
I don't like ice climbers though. They're annoying to use. Well, that's because I just don't know how to use them, I guess. But
Yo!
hey, we're
1v1
even.
now. Okay, I think I've gotten better throughout this stream. It started off rough though.
Yes, I agree. I love how you could jump on characters. Like, it's so weird.
Oh my! I don't even have a second to breathe. I say it now. Whatever. I know you're winning, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm vibing. Literally, in
terms of hating its mere existence.
My hands hurt. My hands hurt too, Shadow Cool, from playing this game.
What character do I hate the most? Hey!
I just exploded myself.
Nice.
Why did I do that? Alright, wait. Actually, don't do anything yet, Pig. Okay.
Okay. All right.
GG.
Give me a second. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Dog.
Yeah. Hey! Oh, okay, cool. No worries. Yeah, it's a bit weird to use Prime. Thanks for the sub, bro. God damn it, really? Wait, give me a second. Bro, why? I said, wait a minute. You'll kill it. Oh, no, I didn't actually.
Just doctor told me to do it. Okay. Oh god.
Okay, I'm just gonna kill you then.
You don't have to. Okay, I'll do it.
Oh shit, you're still alive? I literally dropped my controller.
Come back. Never.
You got diamond, no?
I just fished for you.
GG's.
Let me know in my chat when you're ready to play Mario Kart. Alright, audience, I'm gonna stop boring you now and play Mario Kart. Hope you're happy.
If anyone wants to play Smash, I'm down to play with you guys.
Thank you very much, Pink, for playing with me.
Yep. I'll join you for Mario Kart later. I'm just gonna go on my Discord in case any people in chat want to talk, because it's been a while since I talked to chat, I feel like.
Alright, all good, all good. You go do that and have some fun.
Aight. See you later.
See you later.
Oh,
Sorry, I'll hang up in a second.
oh yeah, I'll do it. It's okay, it's okay. Alright. I want to play against Jimmy. Oh, I can't control what Jimmy plays, sorry. Damn. Sorry for the wait. Okay? Right? Thank you for the sub, Josh. Thank you for the sub, Josh. No. Had to do it, had to do it. Playing COD Zombies. Nice. I don't like COD Zombies much, but yeah, I can see how that's nostalgic. I'll be in game chat if anyone wants to talk on stream. Okay, I'm gonna create a lobby. Gracias, mi amigo. De nada. That's right? Okay, we'll just do anything goes, I guess. No password. I'll just have it open to friends. Because if it's public, then random people could join accidentally, right? Should we do team battles or one-on-one? What do you guys want to do?
The FitnessGram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic
It indeed
capacity
is a
test that
multi-stage
progressively
aerobic
gets more
capacity
difficult
test.
as it continues. The
1v1?
20-meter pacer test will begin in 30 seconds.
Okay.
Line up at the start. The running speed starts slowly but gets faster each minute after you hear this
choice,
signal.
custom
A single
stages.
lap should be completed each
I don't want to
time
turn on
you hear
Amiibo,
this
though.
sound. Remember to run in a straight line.
Hey, what's
and run as
up,
long as
Shadow?
possible. The second time
Shave
you
my
fail to
hair?
complete a
I actually... Oh, we might have network errors. I'll leave 6 on for now, see what happens, though. How you doing, Blake? What was I gonna say? I actually shaved... For the first time ever today, I trimmed with like a razor. I think I'm gonna keep it since Dinell and some other people said to keep it, so I might as well test it out. I want the sides to grow. We'll see if the sides grow, and yeah. So this should be fine, right? Keep it. Yeah. So I'm just trimming the sides, but the hair on top, I need to get a haircut, you know. But anyone is more than welcome to join, by the way. How you doing, Blake? How's life going? We still haven't had the talk about Twitch and stuff. Or was it about... Oh, that's so cool. You guys are here. So how does it work? Do I drag you guys in, or... I hope we're all around the same skill level, so it's, like, fun for everyone. Or it goes in order, yeah? I think it goes in order, and the winner stays. Luigi? Oh, Luigi is annoying to go up against, actually, at Picudo. If someone knows, like, the strat with Luigi. My brother knows it. Let the black man go last. Yep. Ow. If anyone wants to talk on chat, you're more than welcome to, but you don't have to, obviously.
Hey,
Hey, what's up?
I have my mic off.
No, no,
I was talking, and I was like, wait, what is it? How you doing, bro?
Hey,
shit.
let's go. You're better than Jimmy.
Alright, let me... Yeah. I haven't played in like over a year, so... I'm
Yeah.
rusty.
That's fair. Shadow, thank you for the gifted sub, bro. Damn.
Yeah.
I'll play you the song after this.
Yeah, he's gotta focus. Well,
Damn.
counter this.
Oh, nice. Is that the thing that's like... I love your laugh, bro. It's so, like, golden. It's like a national treasure.
Alright. God damn, we're just focusing now. We're not entertaining.
Ah, that's... Oh! My brother uses... I was about to say my brother uses Dinel, because because your username is Dinel. But he uses...
Luigi?
Yeah, he uses Luigi, and he figured... Well, that's one of the characters he uses. And he figured out...
My brother uses Jiggly. He fucking rapes. I mean, he destroys me. Internally.
You're fine, you're fine. What's it called?
Who?
He does this thing that's like 100% to kill or something, but it's hard to like do. I don't know if it's a thing you did earlier.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
Bruh.
No, I figured.
My brother can. He knows all the steps
That's
for all the
cool.
characters. Oh, come on.
We're just doing the same thing
Dude.
over and over.
Alright. I hate Lucian. I hate sword fighters in general.
I love sword fighters.
They're like the most annoying.
They're the most fun to use, I feel like.
They're fun, but they're annoying to play again.
Yeah.
And there's so many of them.
Oh shit! I thought I
Yeah.
killed you. There are so many. I know a lot of people get confused with that. Oh!
There's too many.
Watch this, watch this. Let's go! I countered kill.
Okay. Alright, that was just a warm up.
Well, I think Gamer's next. Cause I don't know how it works, but I'm assuming it's just in order.
I think it's first come, first serve. But let's see.
I'm horny. Hell yeah, bro. Yeah, you see? So then it goes like in order. Let's just play the guitar for Blake.
Hello? Hello?
Who's this? Is that
The
Gamer?
one? Yeah.
Wait, give
Oh,
me
you sound like Gamer.
what does that mean?
Just a warning, I do have like some speech problems, okay? So if I mess up on a word or something,
Wait, give me a second. Let me just. Thank you for the sub, Blake. Thank you for the sub, Blake. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Beautiful.
just one warning, I do have a speech problem, so if I say a word and I kind of stutter or mess up or say something out like way different, that's not my fault. It's just a little problem I have.
Bro, you're good as long as you don't say anything Twitch TOS. Cause that's something that I can't, you know.
No, just because last time I was in the see with a streamer, they kind of made fun of my speech problem.
No, I'm not gonna make fun of your speech problems.
No. We're open here. We like everybody.
Wait, why did Dinel go? Because I was changing characters. Okay, it's you guys now. Alright, go ahead. I'll commentate.
Alright. You commentate.
You can spectate. You gotta spectate.
Yeah.
You can.
No, you can't.
You
You gotta go in the
no,
web.
Oh,
stand.
You gotta
how do
go to the
Oh, I'm dumb. I didn't know that.
stands. No,
Oh,
no,
cool.
go to the other side.
It says
No,
stop
no,
spot.
no,
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 it's
that
good.
works
It's good.
too.
It's good.
That
Yeah.
works.
That works? Alright.
Yeah, it's good. Your
Okay, I
beard.
It's
thought
just
you had to
if
be in the
he's not
stand.
watching it like that, because then he gets no content.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do want to watch you guys play. I'm also gonna mute
Yeah,
sometimes
you know,
just to,
he should-
I'm gonna mute sometimes just to talk to chat, but then I'll be like right back.
No, yeah. All good.
Shave it. You don't like it? I don't really like it either. I guess since you gave me a sub, I have to shave it now, but your beard kind of looks very good with your bald head. You should consider it. Well, we're gonna do a subathon late May, and going bald is one of the big sub goals, so hey, you might see that happen.
I wonder if they can hear.
All right. Oh, I actually hate going against that character. What's its name?
Is it black?
It's silver. What are you saying?
No, but it's normally black.
Yeah, I know.
It's Game of Watch.
Yeah, Gamer Watch.
Oh,
or whatever.
no.
Hey, you just got on. Oh, never mind. We see Dinell shooting green fireballs at Gamer.
Yeah, I ain't no sweat at this game, bro. I am a little bit sweat on Mario Kart. But
You
not
tried
this
it.
one. Yeah, I did try it. I'll do Captain Falcon. I like playing as Captain Falcon. I can do all the specials.
Captain Falcon.
Get out of here, bro. There you go.
Pretty damage.
No! What? What a crit.
That was just funny to hear your reaction.
He
Ooh,
also took 69 damage on that.
69 damage.
Yeah.
We got Dinell with one stock left. Can he come back against Gamer?
That was such a lucky fucking.
Anyone in
Yeah,
chat is more than welcome to join. There's the friend code. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that was not the end. Oh, don't.
is.
Oh, I thought you jumped into that, but you're covered.
Dude, okay, I did not know that he could do that.
Oh,
Alright.
oh,
thank
you just helped him
Thank you.
recover,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Well, because Gamer wants more of a challenge, bro.
He's too good.
Oh, uh-oh. Oh, nice,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
nice.
I was playing with him.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna lose to Gamer.
He probably
I
might.
think so too.
Probably
I think
might.
I'm gonna do today,
I mean, probably might is like,
Gamer's
oh,
too good. Gamer's
nice.
too good for us.
I don't know.
That was
I have a
just
chance.
before 9, that was fine.
I have a chance.
Like, it's literally called Game & Watch. What do you expect?
Yeah.
But Mr. Game & Watch, what did I expect? I expected to get owned. I did not get owned.
All right.
Alright.
All right.
I'm out. Alright. Let me see ping
Man, I
pong.
don't like fighters. Especially
Ding
Lucina.
dong.
Ding dong. What?
Ding dong, you gotta get bing bong.
Ding dong. Bing bong.
That should be
Can
like
you
a
hear my
that
brother?
should be like a raid name. Ding dong, you got bing bong.
Nah, ping. I do like it for raids though. Ah, bro. I don't know how this guy works, bro. But I don't think people who use that guy know how it works, so I think I'm okay.
Oh, I do.
Ow.
Who,
Ow.
Lucina or?
No, Gamer. Not Gamer. Game. The
Game & Watch.
yeah.
Or
Oh my
DW.
god, I suck.
No worries.
Thank you. You didn't have to do that.
Yes, I did.
No, you
He's
didn't.
such a sweetie. We love gamer in ping pong streams. Unlike Jimmy.
I
Thankfully,
mean,
Doctor's not here.
why Doctor hates Gamer?
And Trisket.
Interesting.
Well, Trisket, yeah. I didn't know Doctor hates you.
Nah, he doesn't.
He does?
He
Oh,
doesn't.
he got me because I jumped.
I'm surprised I got you there, to be honest.
Yeah, just keep on spamming that counter. Look at
Ow!
you.
Ah! What? Look at me, what?
Look at you. You were waiting. God damn. Mr. Ping Pong can play. I want to see
Ooh,
you
he
win
would-
ping pong. Come on, let's go, PP. Go for it. Look at that.
It's too scary, bro.
Just zone him,
Bro,
just
how
zone
does
him.
he do that all the time?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Oh my god.
Yes! Oh, yes, that felt good.
You could probably counter that.
Damn it! Ah! What?
No!
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That would have been so
Yes.
bad.
I was about to say, bro. Oh, there you go. There you go. It's pretty even. Oh,
Ah!
dude.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh! What's going on? Not chill.
Should I use my main now?
Who's your main?
Oh,
Ah,
I'm not gonna say it.
GG's.
I'm not gonna say until I win.
Let me change my character. Let me change my character real quick.
Is that your best character?
One of the two. I say
Okay.
one of the
Who's
two because
your-
it's hard for me to find a new one.
Oh, okay. Understandable. Who do you like?
just like- Yes, I just revolve around these two.
Oh, my brother is in
But
chat.
other people hate. Let me just change my character, then go against it now.
Wait, why am I? Oh, cause you
Is he
changed
as
your
good as
character.
me? Nah. We're not as good as.
Oh,
Man,
y'all started.
I could get my brother.
My bad, gamer. My bad. I'm still confused with the arena thing. Cause I'm
Yeah,
dumb.
when somebody leaves to change their character or a stage, then that person get kicked out. Then next person moves up in line.
Yeah, I got it now. Thank you. My brother could beat all of us though. Elliot's brother, what's up?
Nah, I can beat him, bro. Watch.
I could possibly
he
beat him,
join-
even my
If he
amiibo.
join, yeah. If I go try hard, I could probably beat him. I'm just playing for fun.
Bro, I'll tell you what. If you gift me like 5 IQ points, you could probably beat him. Nah, I'm joking. Ah! Oh, I don't know how I recovered that. My brother never comes in chat. Oh my! Imagine I died there. That would be so sad.
Dude, it's a miracle that he appeared. It's just
Yeah.
because we're playing Smash now.
Yep. Pretty much.
He's
'cause I'm
like,
playing.
alright.
The worst thing is, he uses the Amazon Prime that my sister could actually use, because she actually watches, you know? For Wordle and stuff.
But they don't use it to support you?
No, no, my
Mm.
brother uses it, which is nice, but like, it would actually
But
be
not for
useful.
you.
No, no, I'm saying it would. He uses it for me, but I'm saying it would be more useful for my sister to use it, you know?
Oh, okay, now I understand what
Yeah.
you mean. My bad. They support you, but Emily gets on here more often.
But what? What'd you say? Ah!
Emily is on stream more often, and she actually. like,
Yeah, yeah,
so
exactly.
it'd be-
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I
it would be
got you.
more useful for her, so she wouldn't get like ads, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
Um,
Or she could get ad blocker. and not support you.
That's true. You're an older or younger brother? Yeah, my brother is 15. My sister is 19. Actually, she turned 19 April 3rd. And I'm almost
I gotta
25.
go.
Oh, I thought you just killed me. I'm getting owned by
Oh,
you now.
Emily.
Bro, stop owning me. What the hell happened?
I'm telling you, I could try. I was just playing for shits and giggles, and I was trying to commentate.
Well, I'm streaming, so it's harder for me to play.
Understandable.
Kind of an excuse,
brother's
but
got-
kind of true.
Your brother has you nervous, bro.
Not really. I mean, yeah. That's why.
Stop pressuring him. You gotta.
I'll come back now. I see.
No. Oh man. There we go. Come on.
Same age gaps that me and my siblings have, but I'm the young one. Yeah, it's cool because Dinal also has like same age gaps as me and my siblings.
Not really.
Yeah, you do.
No, my brother's. He.
Your brother and your sister are
Yeah.
younger than you.
Actually, maybe.
Yeah.
You're right.
I know.
My
I'm
brother's
right.
17, and you're like 2 years older than me.
Yeah, and my sister's
like
2 years
that-
older than your brother,
Yeah, and my sister is
Is what?
15.
and my brother's 15.
Damn, that is crazy. Oh shit.
Bro, I've
is
mentioned
similar.
this on stream before.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. I know you've told me, but now that I'm thinking about it again, it's like, oh yeah, you're right.
Well, you think I lie on
I was
stream
like-
all the time, bro?
No, because I was thinking, me and my brother are like 5 years apart.
Yeah, I'm
that's
6 years
like-
apart with Wait, am I?
And my
Yeah,
brother
with
and my sister are a year apart. So yeah, it's similar. The first one's born, then like a long time passes, and then another one's born. And
Stop hitting me, bro.
then... Okay, I won't. I'll stop.
Hi, Elliot's brother. Yes, I love doing that. What are your siblings' age gaps, Josh? Oh, wait. Did you do that on purpose? Oh, you still had one more
Yeah.
stock? I didn't even realize. Okay,
Yeah,
GG's.
I did that on purpose.
GG's.
Just let me finish you. Come
All right,
here.
finish me,
Don't be
bro.
shy. Don't be shy.
Come finish
Don't be
me.
shy.
Come finish me, bro.
Don't be shy.
Yes.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I swear to God, I hate this game.
Come on, bro. What are you
I'm
doing?
coming. No, bro. I'm trying to finish it with swag, but don't let me.
Well, because I want to win.
Alright, fuck. I'm just gonna finish this. I don't care.
Do it, bro. Do it. No, that was an accident. Don't hit me, bro. Oh. Ah.
Oh.
Ah! It's so risky, but so fun to do.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna finish me. What happened?
I don't know, bro. Too much talking.
Oh! Oh, I thought I died there.
How'd you hit me?
Because I'm a pro player. No! Am I gonna come into that?
What? Why not?
Because I don't
I'm
want
not
to
gonna hit you,
come.
bro. Come here.
Ah! You say you're not gonna hit me!
There we go.
GG's, GG.
Oh, that was close, bro.
Yeah. Brother 22, sister 20, me 17. Oh, wow. You're all close in age. That's like the best thing.
That's a
feel
good
like.
thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't.
See you,
I
Jake.
don't. My brother and sister are closer than me and them
Yeah, same.
because of.
Okay, now it's game time.
Yep.
Alright, I'm gonna switch.
Oh, wait.
character.
I'm spectating. You're good. You're good.
No.
Oh.
Okay, so look, wait. Thing, don't press any.
Oh, I got
button.
it. I got it. Wait.
Oh.
Yeah, I just go to the
Just
waiting
hold-
area,
hold it,
right?
like, hold a hand over your icon and move it. Just like hold it, like hover it over weighted area.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
Until you see the nail in the line, that's when you move it. Like now.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Thank you. Those are like I don't know. Jake probably left already, but I'm not gonna get better at this game to play with you, Jake. I'm not that into this game. It's
Your
fun to
brother's
play.
name is
This,
Jake?
this might be
Yeah.
like I might do 4-1 because I gotta
That's a
go
cool
and
name.
destroy you.
That's better
Okay.
than
Yeah.
mine.
It's fun to
Like
play.
Jimmy had too long.
It's fun to
Jimmy
play.
had too long of doing Mario
Yeah.
Kart.
Sorry.
You know, you say your parents are immigrants, but you have like white names.
That was purposeful. They wanted to give us names that were like
yeah, people would do
American.
that too.
Yeah, American and Jewish. So like Elliot comes from Eliyahu, which is in Hebrew, and Elliot is like an American name, so it's oh yeah, it's fun to play this game with people who are around the same skill level as you. You know? If you play people
I get that.
yeah.
Gamer is way above mine.
No, I think you guys are
Yep.
close. Oh.
Yeah.
He's like, yep. No humbleness.
No doubt. No, he doesn't care. We do not care.
Oh. I do
He's
like
way
using that guy though. He's like what's
Oh,
his
he hit me? Oh, he hit me?
Yep. I
How?
got range.
He does have
That
range.
was. I did not expect. He
Do you-
knows his
That
character.
was,
Do you play Josh?
And that recovery.
yep.
I feel like if you became a streamer gamer, your go-to like thing would be yep.
No.
Oh, okay. You're like nope.
Nope. He's just a contrarian, bro.
That's what you call me too. Oh, that's sad, Josh. Josh doesn't have Smash. And he doesn't Smash. I'm gonna press another off.
No,
for
they
that.
have fucking
Oh,
like
damn. Why you gotta say that, bro? That was me.
I felt like it was a good
No.
joke to make in the moment. I'm
No.
sorry. It was a
IQ
bad
minus.
IQ minus. That was a bad joke. I'm gonna give
I
myself
funny
IQ.
minus.
Nah, that's a Falcon punch.
It was a funny joke. It was like whatever.
No, I funny minus.
Virgin gang asshole.
That was funny.
There's
See,
nothing
Josh
wrong.
is funny.
Josh is awesome. GG's. Wait, what did I say? GG's. I didn't play.
I miss her.
This is my last one, then I gotta go and destroy Jimmy.
All
He's been
right.
having too much fun in Mario Kart.
Yeah, go destroy Jimmy. He doesn't deserve having fun.
True.
True. Yep.
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 Nah, I think Jimmy has fun.
Alright, you got. Honestly, his my bad. His.
Oh shit! I'm versing
his
gamer.
rule-
I was playing around
Yep.
I was playing around by accident. Shit.
Yeah, gamers. King K. Rule is really good, bro. He's using those.
Ah, let me get one hit on you.
That cannonball. That.
Yes! No!
Those gloves, those hands. Look at that. Oh. Using the
Can't
body
count that.
plate.
Oh! Did we counter each other's counters? What was that? Ow! Damn it.
Yeah, King K has a counter, bro.
Not as good as my brother though, gamer.
Yeah, you don't know.
No. Well, if you could beat me without me taking out one stock, then maybe you're as good as my brother. Ow.
I definitely can. It's just that I play around too much.
Is this your best character?
Yep.
Oh, okay, okay. Ah, come
Look at
on!
him.
How am I supposed to get
That's
away?
what I'm saying.
Ah!
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Dude, he knows how to use that suck.
Oh, I just jumped off the map. What am I doing? Yeah, I see what you mean
Oh,
now,
man.
Dino. Hey, I'm gonna get
knows
one
how to
stock
use
out
that.
of you, though.
He uses the cannonball, the suck, the crown.
Damn it.
Look at that counter. He knows what you're gonna do before you do it. Bro.
Yeah?
Ultra
Yeah, then
instinct.
why'd I just kill him, baby?
He about to
Maybe
die
he's
real
not
quick.
as-
What'd you say?
It was a mercy there.
Ow.
He was just trying to make it even.
If I wanted to, I would really, I could really dunk him or spike him. Either
Alright,
one.
so play, bro. Don't go easy.
Danelle, tell Jimmy I'm gonna be late to stream.
Nah. Okay, I'll go.
You just do the same thing, bro. Come on. I mean, it's working.
Come
I'm not that bad, though, right, gamer?
Nah.
Let's go! What happened? You started going try hard, and I'm killing you. Well, I'm gonna still lose, but, you know. Ah!
Let's see what Gamer
GG's,
says.
GG's.
I just spiked him.
You did.
Well, yeah.
All
Dunk
right.
it with the arm.
Well, listen, if I use a
playing
different
on-
character.
Baby Park.
Gamer doesn't like Baby Park, right?
Or what you do is just driving us over like NASCAR racing. Where the loop de loops? Where the anti-gravity spinning and fun?
Yeah, Baby,
It's just throwing items until like you hit somebody. That's it on that map.
true. Baby Park is very simple.
It's like, oh wait, Purple. Wait, your thing.
Nah, you guys could play against each other. It's okay.
No, because that's how you lose content, and then stream cannot see.
Don't worry. Oh, I see what you mean. For me to spectate. Oh yeah, I was just changing character. Thank you. Give me a second. I'm gonna.
That's very important. You gotta think about that. And then once you change your character, like during mid fight, you can't see what's going on.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready. Dinell, win for me.
Alright. I thought he was gonna leave.
It takes a lot of skill in this game. I ain't gonna lie. I actually got like into Elite Smash, which is like hardcore Smash Bros. But I got one character in there. I'm like, fuck this shit. I am not sweating my ass cheeks off just to fight people.
Dinell.
I wasn't paying attention. That's all.
You gotta hit.
Definitely wasn't.
You gotta hit him, bro.
What?
I feel like I'm such an asshole sometimes.
Wow.
I am, but
No,
like,
that's-
I'm a playful asshole, so it's okay, right?
No.
That's how I am.
No,
That's how I am
nobody
sometimes.
cares. It doesn't matter what kind of asshole.
What do
you
you
are.
mean? If you're a playful
Nobody likes
asshole.
assholes.
Oh, come on. I just
What-
joke
oh, dude.
around. I'm
I
fine.
know. I'm playing, but I'm just being a little asshole too. you
I know. I like that though. I don't like when people are too, like,
When they're being serious and like not laughing. And,
Well,
like,
well, when they're,
you know, they make it awkward.
yeah, yeah.
They like take themselves too serious. Like
I mean, I do that too
Twitch
sometimes, maybe.
channels.
Yeah, yeah,
I like playing the serious part sometimes though.
yeah,
Like just to fuck with people. I'm the one fucking with them, not them with me.
yeah. That's what you do to
I
me.
do that to my coworkers. They get mad.
Yeah, I kind of like that with Jimmy.
they goof around and I'm pretending to like not smile, even though they got me good. No, that wasn't funny.
Cream, what's up, Angel? Yeah, I like doing that too. It's harder to do on stream though, cause I can't see everyone's faces, you know.
You can't see mine, bro.
Yeah, but I could hear you at least, and I know you decently well by now.
I seen your face now.
What'd you say?
I seen your face now.
You think he's fake?
No,
Right
I seen
now?
his face.
Oh, you've seen his
How do you
face?
see me?
Discord,
Well,
Jimmy stream.
Everybody's seen my face. I don't really care.
Yeah, I've seen your face. Hey, let's go, let's go. You're not getting 3-stocked.
It's just that Danielle, I gotta try more harder. He's good with like on upstock. It's up with that. The Falcon Punch, if it haven't hit, it won't hit. Trust me.
Falcon Punch
Even
is
if I
hard to
spin
hit,
it, it
right?
won't hit.
Yo, the sun's coming close to you guys. Be careful. What map is this?
This is
This is
Ooh.
from Sephiroth.
yeah, this is Sakura.
Okay.
When you put on the cool music, it sounds dope.
Is
I
this?
don't know if you can hear it.
Oh, this is not the
Yeah,
music.
that's activity.
I don't know what song he's playing right now, but
That's 3 knees.
there's a really good song that goes with it.
If you don't care, what'd you ask?
That was a GG though.
Oh, you meant for the cream.
Yeah, that was solid.
This is my last one. Then I'm gonna go and after this one, Jimmy.
All right, good
Jimmy's
luck.
waiting for you.
I will say,
He misses you.
Jimmy actually messaged me. He said, "Bro, where's Gamer? I miss him."
Yeah,
He probably didn't, but either way, I'm just gonna have to red shell him.
Okay, and I was lying. He didn't. He didn't. do it.
triple red shell. Man.
Bro, I suck with Shulk, but I just really like using it. So I'm not expecting to do well. But you should, come on, you should use a different character. You're too scared. I get it.
If I do, it's just it's gonna be Game & Watch or Bowser, and Bowser worse.
Bowser sucks. I hate Bowser. But I know how to choose it with Bowser.
Ah! Bro, I don't even remember how to use this guy, bro.
He's the worst. I hate Shell.
Yeah,
He's
Nothing
but he
really
looks
going for him
cool.
other than looks. Yeah, he looks good. That's all.
That's why I use him.
You know who I use because they look cool.
I mean, I don't even use
That's
Shulk.
fair.
I just, whenever I feel like using someone fun, I use him.
I just play this for fun now. Like,
Well, I don't remember how to do anything. Give me a second.
it got
There we
ruined
go.
for me competitively. My brother would just play me just
It's
to
looking like a
try
3 stock.
out.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, this is a 3-stock because
Just
I
to
don't use
try
this
out.
guy. Okay. Okay.
My
I
brother
should have
would
used
play me
someone I
just to
know how
try
to
out
use.
his special attacks, and then he would kick my ass, and then he would leave.
Yeah,
And I'd
my
be like,
brother.
"Okay."
My brother does the same thing. He's like, "Oh, let's play. Well, of course you want to play because you're good at it. Like that's annoying. Like it's
And then
fun
if I
a
beat
little
him-
bit.
If
Yeah,
I
if you
figure
beat
out how
him,
to
it's like
play
you
him-
got lucky. Yeah.
No. He gets mad, and then he's like, "No, I don't want to play anymore." And then I'm like, "Let's play." He's like, "Nah, I don't want to play anymore."
My brother's not like that. My brother still wants to play.
Nah, my brother hates losing. He hates losing. He
I mean-
doesn't play me because he knows I'll get him eventually.
Everyone hates. What the hell was that? Are you taunting me? Ah!
Yeah,
I killed myself. Ah.
that's why you gotta be careful with that move.
Yeah.
You ever played Dragon Ball Fighters?
Is that the newest Dragon Ball fighting game?
It's pretty
Alright,
now.
I gotta go to Jimmy.
All right.
Yeah,
See you,
have fun.
Alright,
gamer.
bye, gamer.
Bye, Jimmy.
Thank you for stopping by.
No problem.
Yeah. GG's. What's it called? Hello? Did everyone just disappear?
No, I'm still here.
Okay. I forgot what I wanted to say. By the way, if anyone in chat wants to join, you're more than welcome to. The friend code. What did I want to say? I don't remember.
You want to say how I'm so good at this game that you don't want to play with me anymore or something?
No.
I'm gonna go Pikachu.
Okay, I'm going random. That's how bad you are. I'm going random.
Alright.
I still love using Pikachu in the Wii version.
Pikachu. Gotta
He-
catch him.
Gotta catch him.
up.
Wait, I want to change the... I'll do it after. Oh,
Should
I
know
actually
that.
know how to use this guy.
Yeah, he's very spammy. But so is Pikachu, so.
True. Yo, come
Well,
on,
that's
bro.
it.
What happened?
Honestly, no, I'm just trying to figure him out.
I feel like a pro.
He's
What's
so
going?
fast.
Oh yeah, he is
Dark
pretty
Pit's
fast.
fast.
I like Dark Pit a
No.
lot, but the problem is I like this move a lot, and it's not a good move to use with him against.
Sucks. It looks cool, but
Yeah,
it does absolutely nothing but like leave you open.
yeah,
Do
exactly.
it again.
I might as well against you. It's okay. Ooh, no Pika on me, bro. Damn it! You missed.
Your mom.
Your mom? Is that what you
Oh.
said?
No.
Why you
Over
grabbing me,
here.
bro? Nice.
Yeah. I went for it. Alright, time to go hard. Oh my god. I gotta punish you for that.
Ooh.
Damn.
I actually use Dark Pit quite a bit, so if that makes you feel better. Do you use
I use
Pikachu?
Pikachu quite a bit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
But like I said, I haven't played this in like over a year, bro. Like,
All I hear are excuses, bro.
no, like consistently play this game. Like, I've only been playing Dragon Ball Fighters or some other random game.
You know what I need to go
You
back
gave me
to? The Naruto fighting game. That's fun.
Was it? Every
Naruto,
time I see it, I'm like, that looks booty cheeks.
like, booty cheeks meaning
Butt
good.
cheeks. Bad.
What? It's so fun.
It looks bad. I don't know.
What, should put Storm
Are you-
4? It's so
Yeah,
fun.
that one. Exactly. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I think it's good. Ow.
Well, you're wrong. Your opinion doesn't matter to me. You've lost all rights. You're a Jew.
Just kidding. I am a Jew. Just let me electro
No, just
shark.
kidding.
Ooh.
Stop.
Get out of here, bro.
You
Wait,
just hate me for being a beaner.
no, I hate you because you're Latino, bro.
That's
And
the same shit.
Wait, what did you say?
Beaner.
Beaner?
Bean? Like a bean? Like bean?
Like beans, like something you eat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Beaner. Have you never heard that?
Maybe? I
You
don't
can
know.
also call me a wetback.
A wetback?
Yeah.
I've never heard
Have you
that
not
one.
heard these?
No.
See, that's how you know I'm Mexican. I get called that all the time. No, I don't. But those are insults for Mexicans.
Really?
Well, beaner, not so much, but. wetback
Hey!
definitely.
Clover's on Super Smash Bros. Should we play with them? Oh, come on! I did my thingy! Dinel knows Molotov? I don't know what that means. Isn't Molotov like Like what Ukrainian soldiers are. Oh, you avoided them. You were like a martial artist there. Electroshock! Electroshock! Oh, he didn't say it. Electroshock!
No!
Let's go.
I need to practice that, bro.
You do? I miss
Doesn't he
talking
have,
to you
like-
guys. You know?
Yeah, you don't talk to us anymore.
You don't
You're
talk
all
anymore.
about streaming, stream that, Jimmy this, Jared that,
You're
Barry
right.
this. You're always ignoring us, especially what's his face?
What's his face?
What's his name? I forgot his name.
Wow, you don't even remember his name.
No, I don't. I can't remember.
What?
It's because I don't know who I'm talking
Nathan,
about anymore.
Epicuro, Angel.
Oh yeah, Nathan.
Nathan. How do you not remember Nathan? His
I don't
username
know,
is
I just-
Nathan.
I blinked out. I was like, what is it?
Alright, well
He's
that's
a
worse.
mod.
That's worse than me not playing with him or talking to him. Yeah, I haven't talked to
Well, the
Nathan in a
difference-
while.
The difference between this and like me writing is that I have time to like think before writing stuff down.
Yeah, that's true. Molotov
Like,
is a
here I'm on the
band.
spot.
Do you know the band?
Am I not able to see chat or
I don't know.
I feel like what's Molotov?
Molotov? It's a band. Oh, I'm just reading chat like. And if they, you know, if you're part of the convos, then. I like using the regular link. Oh shit! Okay, that's okay. I'm definitely gonna do that.
That's what he said.
Not to me though. Ow! You don't throw your banana? Isn't that like how you're supposed to use Diddy Kong? Oh, boomerang!
I don't know. I don't really use Bitcoin anymore. I used them in high school, but that's because I like the name. I just like how Diddy Kong looks. He seems so stylish, and I like doing that.
I mean, he just wears a cap.
But I only played him in Brawl.
Let's go. I didn't have Brawl. I had Ow. Oh, never mind. Aw. Damn it!
How is he?
Wait, you're still alive?
Yes.
You don't even
Look
know
at
how
me,
to.
Look at me. I haven't played these characters in years.
You said a
Centuries.
year, bro. Shut
Months.
up. Are you? A bomb should kill you, bro.
Your
It's-
mom
it's a-
should- what?
But then you'll. Who are you gonna? Oh my.
Hey! That's
Bruh.
terrible.
My mom should kill me. Then who are you gonna watch? Jimmy.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, probably. You're him or Garrett. Or I would just take over the channel. Or Emily will take over the channel. I'll just watch Emily. She'll wear a wig.
Emily starts streaming. She gets like 10,000 viewers.
And he pops off.
Yeah. Just like, why didn't my brother ever do this? What an idiot.
It's so easy.
Yeah. It's a band.
It's so easy.
Oh, I got IQ minus for that death. Sag. Epicuro.
Damn, see, I can't see chat. Crazy.
I mean, because you're playing a game. What do you mean?
No, I have it open on my phone and I can't see.
That is
Wait,
weird.
time out. Pause. Let me fix it. Let's see.
Be careful. Be careful. I warned you. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Bro, what are you doing? You're getting hit. Be careful. Be careful.
Okay.
Alright, I might as well figure out how
Okay.
to use this guy.
Okay. Okay, I see now. I can see chat now.
Okay.
Now I can be a good mod.
Oh yeah, you're a mod. Wait, how did you become a mod, bro? That sounds like bullshit.
Dude, I know the right people. Doctor actually invested in me.
Yeah.
He
He
was just
did.
like spamming mod email.
Yeah.
and he
Also,
was just implementing that thought
in the mod
from the
chat,
beginning.
he was also like, I was like, what do you guys think if Dinel became mod? And he's like, he's a bit trolly, but I think he would be a good mod. And I was like, I don't think so, but I'll make him mod. It's okay.
Did you really?
He did say that. Yeah, you could scroll up in the mod chat. But no, that
Did
didn't.
you- no, did
No.
you say it?
I
I was like, damn, I didn't see that. You must have deleted it. You made
I-
me mad.
I said that in my mind, bro.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. I think you're fine.
I wouldn't say I'm a bad kind of troll though. There's bad trolls.
Yeah, you're
And then
fine.
there's trolls.
You're fine for me. Like,
Just
I don't know.
ask Jimmy.
Twitch is very sensitive. A lot of people on Twitch, but like for me, you're fine. This is BS. What's BS? Oh. What? Zombies? Or me not beating him already? Because that's definitely BS. Oh.
Okay.
What?
Out of here. Out of here.
Bro, I got a bomb, bro. The bomb sucks,
I
bro.
got
Oh.
I got a nut.
Oh, let's go! Ow! I hit my arm. Oh, let's go, baby. My chair is broken. I think I would main Mario. I don't know. Ooh, Mario kind of sucks, no? IQ plus, let's go. Earned it. I really gotta pee, but I'm holding it in for you.
Dude, if you gotta go pee, go pee.
Nah, that's okay, bro.
Or just pee in your pants. Nothing
Bro,
wrong with peeing in your
honestly,
pants.
no
It's
one
nice
would
and
know.
warm and it keeps you healthy. No one will know.
Exactly.
You can just posturing before you dip and like we won't see the stain.
True. You make very good points.
Give me a name, bro. Who should I be? Who should
You know what? Ask chat. I'm gonna go pee. I need to pee.
Alright. Who should I be? Let's see.
But
They can't see, but I have all the characters, so.
coins.
Oh, you made it odd, so now nobody
If
can
you
see
get
me.
777 in the next minute, then the audio. Oh shit! I was. He just got.
Beep beep boop 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 beep boop beep bop beep boop 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 beep boop boop bop bop. Dee 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 dee. How does that song go? Now that we're men, I can change my number. There it goes.
Oh, that felt good.
How does that one song go from SpongeBob movie? Now that we're men.
Huh? I don't watch SpongeBob.
No.
I don't know.
You've never seen the SpongeBob movie?
I don't watch SpongeBob. I'm not a SpongeBob type of guy. Yeah, I haven't seen the movie.
No. It's
I
such a
thought you
good
knew
movie,
that
too.
already. Oh shit!
Oh,
I-
oh shit.
I have no
The Mega
idea.
Man.
Yeah, I have no idea how to use this character, by the way.
Kirby?
Yeah.
Kirby's the easiest to use. He's like,
Yeah, I can feel that now.
he's got the most simple,
Oh shit, that was cool. I love Mega Man though. Has anyone in chat or Dinel played Mega Man before?
yeah, I hate it.
You hate it?
It's the worst game ever. No,
Nah,
I'm just kidding.
nah, you're
It's
joking.
alright. It's not my type of game, because I suck at games.
Okay. I used to
But-
love Mega Man, man. Mega Man Battle Network.
I think I played it on the Switch. I think.
Oh, on the Switch.
Yeah. I think it's on the Switch. Or I played it somewhere else. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie. How do I use your stuff with Kirby? Is this your thing?
Just press B. Just press
What?
B.
Just press
Just
B.
press B.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Oh, that's cool. But is that the only thing I have?
Yeah, that's all you got.
And it's slower than yours?
I don't know. Let's figure it out. It's faster. Or it's about even.
Oh, it looks even. Never mind. What? Bruh.
Oh,
Alright, I'll jump off.
forgot.
I'll jump off.
I'll jump off too. 1, 2, 3,
Do it.
go, jump.
Alright. I'm jumping off. Wait, I thought we are jumping off. You lied to
bad.
me. No, don't do it.
How you been, bro, though?
Huh?
How have you been, bro?
I've been good, you know. Oh, let's go.
No midlife crisis yet?
From time to time, but I wouldn't call
What
it
do
a
you
mid.
think your midlife crisis would be?
I think
Stop streaming?
no, I think if I had like a girlfriend for a couple of years and then she like left me, or if I had a wife and she cheated on me, or if like I had a child that committed suicide, stuff like that, would probably
That's
give.
not a midlife crisis, bro.
That's depression.
That's just happenings of life.
Yeah, but I think that would lead to a midlife crisis, because that would be such a big
No.
part of my life, you know.
Everything leads to a midlife crisis. Eventually, you have one. No matter how small, you get one. You try
maybe.
to act younger.
Maybe. I know definitely that I've definitely. Oh, I forgot. I forgot about this. It didn't work. Bro, stop running away like a loser. I don't know. What do you guys think would be your midlife crises? I
If
don't
I
know.
had to choose one, I'd probably choose motorcycling. That seems like something I would do when
Yeah, I could see
really-
that. I could see that for you, for sure. Yes! Yes!
Nice. That was nice.
Thank
I
you.
like that.
Yeah, I changed up the,
No,
the
well,
style
for me,
there.
motorcycling right now is just like a hobby I'm gonna do for like 3 years, and then I'm gonna dip.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I don't know. It's
Yeah.
not something I'm gonna do long term.
You gotta be careful with that. It's dangerous. Every single person I've known that drives motorcycles has gotten into at least one accident.
Yeah, I mean, that's to be expected.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I've had like moments where I was, I don't know how a midlife crisis would feel, so I don't even know.
I feel like, isn't it like when you feel old and you want to be young, so you do things that you would have done but didn't get a chance to do.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, well,
So I guess it's a hard question to answer because you're still young. So
who's doing better? I think I'm doing better, Doctor. What's up? How's Mario going?
yeah, he's beating me.
I never really use this character. This is Zelda? Link? Zelda. Zelda.
I like the Sheik version. This is Zelda from Link to the Past, I think. Or no, yeah, it's Link to the Past Zelda.
I want to learn how to use her. She's really cool. But yeah, I think for midlife crisis, I mean, if I'm still streaming and I'm making money off of that, I don't think I can have a midlife crisis because I'll be like a kid because I'm streaming. You know?
You never know. You don't know you.
No, you're 100% right. I don't know, but you know.
Like it was a stupid question.
Oh,
for me to
shit.
ask, I'm sorry. What
You're
was that?
fine, bro. You're fine.
That's cool.
It is cool.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
shit!
Oh shoot!
Let's go!
Do it again. Alright.
Oh, I get it.
Oh.
I try
No,
to keep
no,
you away
no.
from me. I think that's the whole point of this character. I'm not sure though. That might be utter bullshit.
Oh, honestly, wait.
Wait, can I try to learn how to use her for a second? Can we not?
No.
Okay, fair
No,
enough.
we can do it. No, go for it.
I just want to see what she does.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that thing is cool with Mega Man. Okay. Alright, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh, I remember now. I remember exactly what to do.
I hope you're ready.
I hope you're ready too.
Ah! Bro, don't kill me.
Oh, wait.
There we go.
Shoryuken. Oh, what's it called? Shoryuken.
Oh, come on, bro! How does that shit work?
Shoryuken.
What are you trying to say?
You know that thing Ryu says?
Oh, shuriken?
Shoryuken, yeah.
Yes!
Oh my god.
Let's
Dude, you're way
go!
too good. What the hell?
Well, I never used her, I think, before. I mean, no, that's a lie. But I've almost never used her before. The thing is, like, all characters, like, if you know the basics, you could, like, you know, learn how to use each character, kind of, basically.
I mean, they all use the same.
Oh,
Oh.
shit! That's
You
sick!
love that genre, huh?
I love this character because she's so, like, annoying.
Princessy? Just like you?
Did you say incesty?
No, princess.
Oh, yeah. Can I get you once with that?
Or you just want to hear something.
I just want to hear something. Nah.
You-
Chill.
you wanna hear what
Nah.
God damn.
I mean,
dude.
listen, if it's your
Disgusting.
fourth cousin, it's might as well be a stranger, right?
Might as well. Can't agree with you more. Ah, you're making me. What are you doing, Seth, bro?
Bro,
Oh my God.
you're getting me excited. Stop.
You just like those birds, don't you? Right next to Stepbro is a picture of King.
I do like it. Oh shit, she has so many things. Come on!
Unique. I never noticed that.
Because you verse sucky people that don't use all this stuff. That's why.
Or really good people that only use certain characters that are like meta.
Yeah, I
So
guess
like
so.
unique characters like these don't really get a chance.
Oh, that didn't even
to-
do much to you.
I didn't let it.
Oh. Ow.
Yay!
Wait, you're
I'm
beating
winning.
me. What?
I'm winning.
Wait, should I go
Look
try
at
hard?
me. Yeah, go try hard.
Nothing will change then. Oh, that was so good. That was so good. You can't even lie. I actually like
Oh,
thought
that
of
did-
that.
That deserves 2 KOs because I was so good.
Nah. I'm clipping that. Oh, that was great.
Oh.
Oh. I love the fact that we can exclamation point clip now.
You're welcome.
Thank you, honestly.
I saw Tannis do it. I was like, ooh, that's neat. Let me tell Ping about that.
Yeah, and it
You-
connects to
your
the
stream is
Discord.
dope.
What?
Oh, nice. Your stream is dope. It has all these little things. And
My
it's
stream?
unique. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know another stream that's like.
I'm pretty unique. I know. I get
Yes.
it. Thanks, bro.
If you were a big streamer, that would be annoying, maybe. No, I guess not.
Well,
All the bad clips would just be like bad clips.
well, certain things could be
Or-
annoying. Yeah. Oh, this character is
Oh,
crazy.
I remember this. Okay. He's big.
You know what else is big?
What?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Your ego?
Against you in this game right now, yes. Not always, but right now, yes.
Look at this, bro.
My
Ooh.
ego is dying.
Ooh. Watch this.
I'm watching.
Would you? I was just talking to this other dude about the ego. You know how like we can make it disappear and we can become better human beings and shit.
Who are you talking
Using
to
this-
about that?
This dude named Mike, he's like a neighbor of mine. And he was
I
smoking
can't-
pot outside while I was fixing my motorcycle.
Uh-huh.
And he was telling me about this drug. Well, it's not a drug, it's a hallucinant. Haruska or something like that. And it makes it
That was an
so-
accident. Oh my god.
You know how when you think about yourself, it's like your hands, your body, all that. Well, when you take this hallucinant, it doesn't feel like the same anymore. You don't feel like it's your body anymore. You feel out of body. I don't know how to explain it, but like, you don't feel like you anymore. Is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, isn't that a lot of drugs though?
Become yours. It's just one.
Should BB go try hard? Lol. Yeah, so the bat is just what?
It's just one little. It's like weed.
Oh,
but
okay.
It makes you hallucinate. You smoke it, and it's like you get out of body experience.
That's cool.
It's legal in Peru.
Oh wow.
So if you wanna go try it, Peru is the spot.
Yeah.
I was watching Vsauce take it.
Oh really? You know you could get like a similar experience to like drugs, like out of body experience if you meditate.
For real.
Yeah.
Like, do you have to do it consistently, or?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's hard to do. It's harder than like just taking a drug, obviously. But like it's possible.
I had an out of body experience once by accident.
I've definitely had it like meditating, but probably not as intense as I could have.
I was like, what the fuck?
Well, that was a dream. That was a dream.
That was crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna actually try hard now.
I remember my friend got punched in the face. We were boxing. He got punched in the face, and he had like deja vu about it. And he was like, "What the fuck?" He was like so dazed. And
Yeah.
He told us about how he was. We were like, "You good, bro?" And he's like, "Bro, I just had." He would be like, "I just had the craziest like deja vu. Like I've been punched like this before."
Yeah.
Like, you got punched hard, so.
Stuff like that happens to me on stream too sometimes. Like, and oh, that killed me. And I've mentioned it before. Like, for some reason, oh my god, like I don't know how to use this stupid dragon.
I should just do like. I should just make a list of like conversations where like I type them consistently, but like only like once a month. So then you're like, I've had this conversation before.
No, sometimes you guys forget about convos like I've had with you guys, and then I remember, like, so I don't think it would trick me.
Well, we talk a lot, so there'd be some things that
No,
we forget.
for sure. Oh yeah, I was gonna say the one thing that sucks about that sucks about the clip thing is you can't name the clips.
Damn.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh, oh come
Nope.
on, bro. No, come on. What? I suck ass, bro. I don't know how to use a stupid dragon.
yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. It's not a dragon.
And I like it.
I kissed the girl.
Oh, let's go! Baby,
With
let's
the
go!
strawberry lipstick.
Oh, wait, I want to see the clip that Epicuro sent. One moment, please.
Okay.
Wait, should I go try hard?
Yeah, go try it.
Nothing will change. Oh, that's how you guys hear Dino. Oh, that was so good. Wait, should I go try hard? Bro,
Well
your voice is so bassy. Nothing will change then.
Mine?
Yeah, your mic is like
This
so
isn't
weird.
right.
That's so good. Wait, should
I'm using my Sony HMK, whatever it's called. But I'm laying down, so that's why.
yeah, excuses, but okay. Ooh, oh, I thought you went
Here,
random.
let me stretch my left leg.
Stop, bro. Stop. What does WP mean?
Well played. I'm
Wor-
guessing.
World play? Should I up?
Well,
Oh, well played. Oh, thank you. Should I up his volumes or nah? Should I up your volume? Oh, I hate the Animal Crossing stupid. Oh, is he doing something?
God.
Oopsies.
Oh my god. Wait.
Don't worry, bro.
No.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I got you, bro. I
Need a
got
better
you.
pillow. Alright, there we go. 1, 2, 3. Never mind. Oh my god.
All right, you ready?
Ready? 1,
2, 3.
2. Go.
Ow. Stop it! I don't. What the hell does that even do? Bro, I hate her. I hate her so much. Stop it! Oh, because I
Whoa.
had the thing. Let's go!
She's so adorable.
She's so ugly, bro.
Canonically, she likes death metal and doom.
Isn't there an anime like that?
No.
There is. There is. There is an anime.
She likes that.
But
Is
I'm
it
just
really?
saying, there's an anime with like a girl that looks like this girl. That where she goes to karaoke. She's like a businesswoman, but she goes to karaoke to like relieve her stress, and she does heavy metal. Oh my god, no way you just died. What? Did you do that on what was that?
That was an accident. I dodged into it like this.
That's hilarious,
So I went
bro.
like that. I jumped, and then I went like that.
That's hilarious. Oh, that's the tree planting. I was wondering what this was for a second. Ah!
Yeah.
Wait, can't she draw? No, how do you? Is there a way for her to draw to plant a?
A 3? No, I don't think so.
Oh, is that the wrong character? Someone can draw
That's
a tree.
villager.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Oh, you trapped me. You ruined it.
Ow! Oh
You ruined
shit!
it.
I
Guess
didn't
who I
know.
am? You ruined it.
I don't know.
Ha bollocks.
Oh, fairy.
I'm
Bollocks.
from, I'm from Winchester. No, I don't know where he's from.
No, he's not. He's York. Damn
He's
it,
from
I
Leicester.
forgot.
I'm from Leicester.
No.
There's this place called Leicester that they pronounce Leicester. It's fucking crazy. So imagine what Leicester would. All right,
Sorry.
I'm gonna end this fool.
Go ahead. Look at your percentage, bro. Look at your percentage,
Yeah.
babe. Oh shit.
Wouldn't it be embarrassing?
Okay, can you just let me do my thing? Let's go, baby. Let's go.
No way.
What were you saying? You thought
No
you got your
way.
hit in?
No way,
Let's go.
bro. I was so fucked up.
All right,
bro.
let's do one more
I'm not
and
your
then.
friend anymore.
That's
I'm
okay.
not your friend.
Wait, we're friends?
I'm just friend. We're not friends.
Yeah.
This is a platonic.
No, this is purely
mutually-
sexual. What are you talking about?
Wait. Let me change my character.
Change your
Let me
character.
actually. Let me actually get a character I'm good at.
All right,
'cause
me too.
I
Me
suck
too.
at Mega Man. I like Mega Man, but I can't play as Mega Man.
Okay. Since no one's really joining, we'll just do one more and then I'll go to Mario Kart, I guess, for a bit.
Okay.
Because I feel bad, because I did say I was gonna Mario Kart.
No, Jimmy doesn't care. He'd be happy if you don't join.
Oh yeah, because then I would beat him. Good point. Good point. Ooh, this character is fun to use. I don't know if people are enjoying this, but okay, are you ready?
I feel like they are. Who wouldn't enjoy a good dose of Neo every once in a while?
True. I mean, we have 10,000 viewers right now, so I guess you're right.
I'm looking at the stats right now. It's actually 10 million.
Oh shit, I read it wrong. Math is not my. Oh, Sephiroth is so. I thought you don't like sword characters.
Sephiroth's the exception. He's just so cool. Look at his jump. He can fly. Oh wait. How do you? Look
Oh
at
shit,
That's
that
so
looks
cool.
scary.
Look at that.
How did that miss
watch
you?
This, watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. No, no, no. Watch this. Watch this.
I'm watching. Wait.
Look at that. That's so awesome.
Oh, yeah, I actually love using Sephiroth's thing like that. Oh, I thought you would get hit into it.
No, it doesn't hurt me. Oh, dude. You just. And then there's this. Wait.
Ow.
There's this. This little thingy right here. He just knocks his finger.
Oh, that shit's annoying. Doesn't it hit you after a while?
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt you.
It just hit me.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, that
You're
doesn't either.
imagining it.
Let's go! How did that kill you?
Alright. I'm out.
Come on, bro, you suck. Sephiroth is hella cool, I agree.
And then his song, I don't know if you're listening to it, but his song is so.
I mean, yeah, this
Yummy.
does sound cool.
I made it so it only plays that song. So
Can you even do that?
yeah,
Sheik is pretty cool too, though. Really
she's alright.
fast.
she's mid.
She's what?
She's mid. Isn't it?
Yeah,
just
but
Zelda?
then why am I
But,
killing you, bro?
Oh, it's 'cause I suck.
Oh,
You're better than. You've gotten better, bro. Like no cap.
let's go. It's because I'm a pro. Ah!
dude.
I take it back.
Alright. No more damage.
What'd you say?
No more taking damage.
What'd you say?
I said your mom gay.
See, that's more accurate. Oh! Let's
Oh,
go!
no.
Let's go! How did I kill you with that? Oh, what the hell was that? That was sick.
What are you talking? Me or? What,
No,
you
me.
did or what I
This.
did?
This. I don't even know what it is, but...
Oh yeah, that thing is so cool. I love doing that off stage. Like trying to hit people off the stage with that.
Oh, that is cool.
You can like one shot them with that.
Wow, I want to keep playing,
I
actually.
remember when I was actually good at this game.
Bro,
No,
stop making
I can't
excuses.
remember.
I'm just better.
Alright.
Yeah, there you go.
Do it. Okay.
Actually, I want to keep playing this game if that's okay.
No,
You
yeah,
actually, you owns me with that.
Yeah. I forgot that I could use directional.
That was an
This
accident.
game is so much fun, but it's not good for. It's not the best for streaming unless you're like God. No, unless
Haha.
you're good at it.
I think it's good. It's not the best though. Yeah, I think it's fun. It's fun if you're
That's
around
what
the
makes
same
Mario
level.
Kart special.
That's what makes what?
Mario Kart special.
Mario Kart is so.
You don't have to be good.
But that's why I don't like it. Like, there's a certain amount of level skill like necessary, but there's so much luck too. It's like very frustrating.
Sometimes there is
A
a lot of
times.
luck to it.
Yeah.
But if you're good, you're gonna get top 5 consistently.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know.
And if you're bad, you're gonna get middle 3 consistently.
It's also hard to reach chat with Mario Kart.
I bet it's the same with this though.
Not against you, no. I was just joking. Oh, I mean, you're probably right.
You're making the whole stream laugh, brother. iFunny plus.
What do you mean?
Alright.
What do you mean whole
What do you mean
stream?
by that?
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that? Everyone left me for Mario Kart with Jimmy. What are you talking about? Oh,
Yeah.
kind of true.
No, they
though.
left you 'cause they were like, no, we don't want to be with female. Females now? Oh.
Nah, I don't even know if everyone left. I'm just bullshitting. I
Jared was
suck.
doing
I suck.
Jar Jar Binks impressions, so you know.
That's pretty cool. Oh,
It was
But you
actually really
jumped
good,
into
bro.
that.
You don't even know how good it was, bro. It was insane. I was like, what? That's Jared? You know how he's got a deep voice? His
He
voice got
does?
so high. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, you never heard his
He should be
Elmo
a
and
voice
stuff?
actor.
He's good.
His Elmo is good. Ah, that's true. But I don't know. His Jar Jar Binks was just like built different.
Yo, he speaks Japanese.
Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah.
I bet he does. He seems like the kind of dude.
I jumped into that. That was dumb. Ah!
Come on. Slash. 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 Splash. No.
Bye. Oh, you have too many lives.
50 seconds. No.
You have too many lives? Why would she say that?
I'm saying that way too often. I gotta stop.
Yeah,
Your
it has to
mom
make
just gotta quit.
funny minus, bro. The hell was that?
Yeah, you're right.
I
I
funny.
don't know. I got it from my. I hung out with my friend over in San Diego, and that's all we were saying the whole time. That and yes, yes.
What are you, gamer now?
No. No. Ugh.
Oh, nice. Can you stop it? Thank you.
And you're welcome.
I'm about to die. Never mind. Funny plus. Let's go. I got a funny plus. I think it was for me. I hope it was for me.
Ooh, I can't see chat anymore. I don't know what's going on with my phone.
Ugh. Stop running away. You got a big ass sword.
I'm trying to hit you with the big ass sword, bro. Okay, you gotta stop doing that, bro.
That was sexy. Oh no! Ah! The stupid shit. Bro, I lost.
Oh, you lucky. You lucky.
I
You
lost.
lucky.
What lucky I lost. Oh my god. I did that twice already. IQ minus.
Look at that. Look at that end screen, bro. That. Look at that fire.
He's pretty hot. Odd smash.
Man's hot, bro.
Know what else is hot? Your mom!
Hey, thank you. That's a compliment.
You're welcome.
I love it when my mom gets some loving, you know? She deserves it.
Oh,
She's a
Robin
beautiful
is...
woman. Love that woman.
Do you think she's hot?
She can... Robin? Nico?
No, your mom.
No, I think my mom's beautiful.
That's not what I asked.
Yes.
Do you think she's hot?
Yeah, she's hot. My mom's beautiful.
Kind of weird to say, bro. Is
I mean-
Sephiroth
mean-
plus 18?
I
think
mean
so.
the phrasing is weird, but it's the same. Is Sephiroth 18? No, he's 32.
Then he's hot. He's 32.
Yeah, he's like in his 30s. I'm pretty sure. Look at that white hair. You think some 18-year-old has white hair, bro?
I have white. I've had white hair for years, bro.
Your character, bro. Your character's like 4. He's actually like 16.
Bro, you didn't even hit me once, bro. What's going on?
I'm getting used to your moveset.
You're
I'm seeing
scared.
what you can do.
You're scared of my skills. Wait, how do you add to the book? I don't remember how to do it. Whoa, wait, stay there for a second. I want to see it. I don't remember how to.
Oh, you see? Look at that wing. Look at that wing.
That is
Ooh.
pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know.
He's,
Shit, I don't
it's
remember how
one
to do
wing
it.
to be.
Do you know how to do
It's
it
called
with the
the
book to charge up?
No, I don't know.
Oh. If anyone knows in chat, let me know. All right, let's fight. Wait,
Oh,
can't you
he's
get
got,
both
like-
wings?
Oh, wait. I know.
Oh,
Press down B.
no.
And then, no?
That's what that just did.
Hmm.
It just wasted all of it. No, that's the other thing. Wait, let me get rid of it, because that's... Alright, it's fine. Let's just first.
Alright, 1, 2, 3, go. Let's go. A, B, C. Easy as 1, 2, 3.
That was an accident.
You can count on me, and this is 1, 2,
Oh, wrong way.
3.
Oh shit. Okay.
Want to see something? Oh. 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 Oh.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. Come here. Daddy's here.
Damn it.
Daddy.
Ah.
Yeah.
No. I was trying to do something
Wait, check this
cool. I
out.
was trying to do something
Look
cool.
at that. Wait, check this out. Check this out.
I don't wanna. All right.
Wait.
Okay, what? Oh, that's pretty
Ooh.
hot. That's pretty hot.
Wait.
Wait, you
Come
just
here,
said to
baby.
come in. And in
Come here,
Japanese. Okay, so
Oh,
I'm coming.
come
You
on,
ready?
baby.
You ready?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Ah, I was on the floor. Why would you hit someone that's on the floor, bro?
Rule
That's
number
messed up.
1. Floors don't count.
Oh no, I forgot to to update the question of the day.
Damn, that's
But something is different today also, so. Bro, can
What?
you
What's
stop? Try to figure it out.
Oh yeah, you tripped.
Damn it! Well, it isn't the question of the day, that's for sure. Why are you back? What happened to Mario Kart, bro? Why do I keep killing myself?
He keeps on. I bet he's losing so bad that he's like, I don't.
No, it's probably a break in between races.
Probably. You wouldn't stop. Does Doctor play Smash though?
I don't know. Doctor, do you play Smash? Do you Smash,
I
Doctor?
want to see. I would want to play Doctor. Doctor seems like he plays Smash. I think he said he's a Nintendo fan.
Yeah, he likes
somebody.
Nintendo and indie games.
Oh yeah. Podcast. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
I wanted to listen to Janelle and podcast. Aw, that's so sweet.
Yeah. Very sweet. Very sweet. That's why
Something.
he's mod.
Damn it! Bro, I keep doing that, like to try to be cool, and I keep missing. I don't know why I keep doing it.
All right. Let's add some stakes to it.
All right, what?
Let me see.
I'm gonna change
don't
characters though.
Yeah, I'm gonna change characters too.
Yeah, I wasn't very good when I first started either, and then I played my brother a lot, and I got better, and then he got insanely better because he plays it so much. So now I'm decent.
I stopped playing in like 2020 because of COVID. I
never really started playing it.
I was really good for a minute. I was like with my brother. Me and my brother was really good.
For a minute, I'll
then-
believe that.
He would beat me, but since he would play me a lot, I would get good.
All right, what are
And
the
then I would
stakes
play
though?
others online. I don't know. What would be the stakes? What would be something I can give you, and then something you can give me?
No, I don't know.
I'm mod. I would play you for VIP, but
Nah. I'm not. First of all, you can't be VIP and mod at the same time.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's no
Yeah.
point.
What do you guys think? What should
Well,
it be? What should it be?
How
How about? Yeah, go ahead.
about I got how many bits? I got 7 bits. I'll play you for the 7 bits.
Yeah, but if you win, what do I give you?
You rig it next time we play. Heads or tails. With my favorite.
Nah, bro, that's not worth 7 bits. What are you crazy? How about
I'm
this?
just playing.
How about this? If you win, you give me 7 bits. If I win, you're not allowed to give anyone on Twitch.
What? Wait. If I
What?
win, I give you 7 bits?
Yeah, but if I win,
No.
oh yeah. I mean, if Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't know what happens if you win, but play for 1 Bitcoin? Nah, that's okay. 1 Bitcoin is like it's my entire
much money.
life money. The accumulation of my entire life's money thing.
I get to choose what you stream
Okay, you get to choose what I stream. If I win,
for like 30 minutes.
okay. If I win, you can't give any streamer, including me, money for the next like week.
Week? That's not that hard. That's doing me a favor, bro.
I know, bro. You need it.
Alright, fine. Ready?
Because you said you were
It's
gonna
best out of
save
30.
money, and you've been spending money, right?
No, but I told you, I found like my check that I was missing. I was like thinking I was poor. I was like, I
Doesn't mean you gotta
either
spend
spent-
it. Nah, but yeah,
because
it's your money. It's your money. It's
1,500.
You're right.
And I was
You're
like,
right.
I either deposit 1,500 or I'm like spending way too much.
Oh, sorry.
But I found the check, so I'm like, oh, I'm on track to saving money.
Okay, so let's change it then. If I win, you give me money. Nah,
I'll give you,
nah, that's stupid.
No, yeah. How about 2 gift subs? And if I win, you play a game of my choosing for 30 minutes.
Okay,
I think that's fair. 2
Alright.
gift subs, that's $10.
let's do it. It's actually
that's out of
$5 because Twitch takes half of it. But yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, alright. But you get 2 subs. So like,
Yeah.
2 people
No,
that
no.
might come back.
That's true. That's true. Damn it! I really gotta win now.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. This is the best out of 3.
Best out of 3 meaning what?
First
Like-
two wins. Like this
Oh,
is game 1.
Oh, this is game 1. So all like whoever wins the entire game. Oh, I thought it was just like best out of 1. Okay. Best out of 3 is better. Yeah.
Yeah, that way this game, another game, and then a 3rd game if needed. Alright. I'm gonna try.
You should try.
There's your specs, man. There's a game I want you to play.
What game?
It's an anime game, we'll say that.
Oh, you told me about it on stream. The like weird, bro.
Did I?
I don't know if it's TOS. Yeah, you did.
No, it's definitely TOS, bro. I wouldn't
Then I
say
get. Wait, TOS generally means that like it's not good. Oh wait. No,
Oh,
well,
no, it's
like it's fine for
terms of
Twitch.
service.
It's fine. Yeah.
it's fine for Twitch.
Well, you're right.
It-
Actually, yeah.
It falls, yeah. If it's not TOS, that means it's bad.
If it's
But
not
it'll be
TOS, I
fine.
could play it, just not on stream.
It's Tokimeki Memorial. I think you're thinking of a different game,
Oh,
a different anime. It's
Maybe.
anime-ish. It's got like anime high school girls. It got translated into English for the first time. No.
yeah. Let's wait. Why you couldn't get up? Doctor wanted to
I
see you
first-
win. Come on, bro.
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win.
Yes. Oh, that was an accident. You're unlucky. I chose a
No.
character I know how to use.
I also have a character that I can use, so I think it's fair.
True. No, it's not fair. I'm too
But you're,
good.
You're good. You're good at this character.
No,
I
I'm
don't hate
not.
sword characters.
Ah, I'm okay, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Dude, I hate Robin.
It's not Robin. Yeah.
Corrine.
Korean. She's Korean, actually. Speaking of, how's Japanese studying going, Doctor?
Oh my god.
It's not looking good. Game 1's not looking good for you. Wrong way. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
My God Monkey has like 8 days left. I should probably use it before I scam myself. Wait, did you?
I was telling
oh,
you
yeah.
that I want you to play Tokimeki Memorial. It got translated the other day.
Okay. I'm not sure if I know
How
what
did
that
that-
is. I don't know what the hell
It got
just happened
translated to
there.
English for the first time the other day. So, or you could play in Japanese.
I don't know if my Japanese is that good, but ah,
It's just basic, like.
Oh, that was cool.
Japanese for like day-to-day use. Like, let's go to the amusement park.
Oh,
Or,
okay,
How's your
then.
day?
that's easy then.
And like school stuff, but it's like really good because it uses it in a normal language way, like how normal people speak, not like anime, because they exaggerate.
Anime, yeah, that's true. That's good for practice. Pretty good. I just hit 6 semesters worth of recorded study time. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
6
Hope-
semesters.
Hopefully that translates
Sheesh.
to actually speaking to people though, because that's the hard part.
Yeah. I think the hard part's like being able to quickly understand and say something back.
In real time, for sure.
Yeah, that's
For sure.
because you can think about it, but like actually doing it is hard.
Yep. It took
'Cause
me.
you can think of search.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
It took
No, you
me. Okay. It took me. I was listening to like. I knew a lot of like business Japanese, or not business Japanese, but like Japanese for the like staff office that like people don't use in real life because I was a teacher. Like even the students didn't know some of those words. 'Cause, like I was hearing Japanese all the time in the office, and that's what helped my listening get much better, much better. And then speaking, obviously you got to speak for that. All right, that's
Yes.
game 1 to me. So good luck, sir.
Alright, I'm gonna get a better character.
What'd you say?
I'm gonna get a better character.
Oh, I thought you said, all right, I'm gonna go to bed then, or something.
No, better character. Let's see.
I'm going with the worst
Either
character.
Pac-Man, Ness, or Falcon.
I'm not gonna choose
Oh,
for
fuck
you.
it. Nah, we're going Falcon.
Bro, since I'm feeling good, since I have a win, I'm gonna go with someone I don't really use, but I like to use. Wait,
Use Sheik.
nah.
kidding.
Where's... Oh, never mind, I'm dumb. Yeah, you heard going to bed too? Okay, it's not just me then.
What did I say? I said I'm going to switch.
I'm gonna switch my character. It sounded like I'm going to bed soon or something. Or, yeah.
Hmm.
I gotta use
Oh,
Young
I-
Link, cause Zelda, you know? Breath of the Wild.
I was thinking of being him too.
I don't even remember his stuff, to be honest. Yes, it hit you. Ah, damn it. Come on. Oh, Pokemon music? No.
Oh my god.
What's going on, bro?
You're better than.
I was just hustling you this whole time because I wanted 2 subs.
Yeah, you've been hustling.
Nah.
I give you.
I'm just Jewish, bro. Money means a lot, you know?
Fair
Lurk,
enough.
thanks for the lurk, Epicuro. Come on. we're both facing the wrong way.
You have like a distance thing, and like I have to be up close.
You sure about that, bro? Oh shit! Oh, that would have been so bad. Yeah, I'll come up close. Damn it! Never mind. Oh shit! That stops your Falcon kick.
You're using those items.
Oh shit! You killed what? How do you have 185? How are we still both? Oh, you're winning.
You're just like nicking at me. You're not really hitting me hard.
I didn't realize that. I don't know if I can hit you hard with them. I probably
No.
can.
You can, but like not from far away.
Like that.
Yeah.
No! Are you serious? I suck!
This is getting interesting.
I
Alright,
suck. I should have used the
chill.
character I actually know how to use. I got cocky.
Nah. Yeah. That's what they all say.
No, I
That's what
didn't get
say
cocky.
too.
Bro, come on. Bruh, the bomb sucks ass.
You weren't saying that earlier. You're like, ooh, bomb.
Yeah, because I was doing better.
Oh. I'm gonna keep my distance.
Good idea, good idea. Damn it! God damn it.
I wanna use those flag points.
I know what to do.
No, I landed you. I hate this stage.
Bro, can you like come?
Yeah.
Bro! Finally, Jesus. Yeah, why are you still alive?
Your mom.
Oh, I did a
No.
lot of damage to you. Oh, but I only have one.
Fuck out of here. No.
Ugh, that has such bad range. Shit! I'm an idiot. I was using a character I'm not even that good at. I was feeling cocky.
This got good. Alright. I'm sweaty, mom spaghetti.
Damn it.
My
If I lose this,
the
it's
swag
over.
points too, bro.
If I lose this, it's over.
Alright. I don't want to give you money, bro. I want this.
I mean, it's kind of a win-win for me. Nah, unless that game is bad. Shit. I don't know who to use.
I think you would like. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a dating simulator.
Wait. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if
You
I
might
should.
like it.
I might. I don't know if I should use this character. This might be crazy. But if I win, that would be awesome. I'm doing it. You're gonna be like, what the hell? Don't look at stream. That's cheating.
I'm looking at stream, bro.
God damn it, bro.
I'm just kidding. I'm not.
Okay. How about whoever has
I
the most
promise you that.
KOs? You have 30, I have 34. I guess I won.
Who should I choose? Oh, this is hard. I need something.
That counters swords, right?
No. Oh, you have a sword character?
What? I should stop talking. Just pick your character. I should have used this for the second battle instead of the last one. Marth? Oh, I'm actually good with Marth.
What the hell?
Yeah, exactly. This is
I'm
my
good with
secret
Marth
weapon.
too.
Shit.
Marth is my best character.
No, it isn't. Luigi is your best character.
Yeah, it is. No, Luigi's my second best.
Well, this is my best character, so good luck. Yes. Stop. Stop it. Just let me. Oh my god.
I told you is it she or he? I forget.
Martha's a guy, I think.
Oh, I think so too.
I'm really good with this guy.
I swear to God, if you don't stop
Yeah, what are you gonna do, bro?
the projectile, bro.
Well, you're a sword character. What do you want from me? Fuck you, bro. You do so much damage.
You know who does a lot of damage?
Your mom.
Ike. I hate Ike for that reason. He's gonna stand over here, bro.
All right, bro. Yes! I'm telling you, I'm good with this guy, bro. Let's go!
You're spammy.
Yeah, bro. It's the only thing I could do to win with this fucking stupid ass dog. Especially against fucking. Damn, this is close, which is pretty cool.
We're about even. The first one you got me pretty good.
Yeah, maybe I should have kept using Karina.
I would have figured it out.
Uh-huh.
I would have used a sword character too. To just like, since you would have been up close to me. Okay, I hate this so much. I hate this.
I love
hate
it, bro.
this. I didn't think you were gonna be like this. I forget if there's like.
What? Oh.
I forget if there's like.
This is my best character. You're not gonna win, bro. Yo, I have 0%. I'm mad annoying, right?
You're stupid annoying.
Okay, I fucking jinxed it. Fuck! It doesn't do that much damage, though. Fuck! Bro! Let's go.
You're not even beating me with strategy.
What do you mean? I have a strategy.
You're mad annoying.
Yeah. Bro, how am I gonna kill a sword with a dog, bro? Oh, I love it. Oh, stop.
I shouldn't have used Marth. I didn't.
I
think
thought
he
he's
was
your
gonna be
best
like
character.
this.
What happened?
Yeah, but I've never played this. I didn't know. I was expecting like a fight.
Fuck. It is a fight. What do you
Not
mean?
this. I hate you. I hate you, King. I'm never showing up to chat. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't blame you. Shit. Stop.
I'm tense, bro. This is 1-1.
Stop!
Come on.
Yeah.
Go!
That was an accident! Stop it.
Come on. Come on.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Dude, stop. Why can't I?
Yes! Yes! Let's go! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
Alright.
Hell yeah! Bro, the dog, baby! The dog comes in clutch!
Double or nothing?
Nope.
1 hour or
Nope.
or 5 seconds?
Nope. Nope. Actually, no. That was way too close, bro. That was too scary. I don't know if I want to do that shit again. I'm a beast
Triple.
with the dog, though. You can't lie, right?
Triple or nothing. 2 hours or 20 subs. Or wait. 10 subs. My bad.
Bro.
I was
Yeah,
I
I
was
want
giving you way
it.
too much.
Yeah, don't do that. And save it up for the subathon. Oh my god. No, it's okay. You don't need to give me anything. It just felt good to win that.
Oh, dude. Oh.
That was. Am I not a beast with Duck Hunt though? He's my
was
secret
so
weapon.
fucking-
No one knows how to
I
counter.
was. Dude.
Because when you get close up, I can push you away too. Oh. This is just for fun. This is just for fun. Oh, that was an accident. Oh, damn. You're lucky that it's not double or nothing right now.
Yeah. No, I'm unlucky because I figured it out.
Sure you did.
I know how to take it.
Sure you did. I thought you figured it out. What happened?
Here we go.
Aww. Hey, Epicuro got one. You didn't have to do that, bro. Thank you, though.
Because I would have wanted you to honor your part, so it's not fair if I don't honor my part.
You're right. You're right.
Because then you would have been like, I wasn't actually gonna make you spend two whatever. So like,
It doesn't matter. I'll win anyway.
I wish you would have doubled or nothing though.
I should have, bro. Look how good I'm doing.
I would have switched characters though, just so you know.
You would have?
I would have used a spammy. I would have used a spammy character.
Yeah, I would.
too,
I
you
would
know?
have switched characters too, probably. But I'm really good with this guy. I don't know why. Cause no one expects this shit, bro.
You're good at tournaments because no, I wonder how it would work like that, like against really good
died.
players.
I play against my brother and I actually beat him sometimes with Duck Hunt, and he's pretty good.
It's
But obviously
spammy, bro.
against like beasts, I would die.
They wouldn't let you like pull anything off.
You're killing my guy, bro. I'm just trying to get this guy out to shoot you. I kind of killed myself. Oh! I killed myself like 3 times, though. Alright, rematch,
Here we go.
rematch. You want me to play the song on guitar for you? You want me to play a song on guitar for the gift subs?
Nah, it's okay.
Okay.
I'm sad.
Why are you sad?
I really wanted.
Listen, I
To
might
win.
end up playing that game.
No, I really wanted to just win. I didn't expect.
A fucking dog to beat you?
Yeah. That was kind of blunt. All right, let me switch characters.
Oh, okay. By the way, anyone in chat is more than welcome to join or join the Discord to talk. I used to do that like half a year ago. I used to talk to you guys more on stream. It's good vibes.
A year ago, pretty much.
Nah, not that long.
I don't know. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute.
Alright, my spammy character versus your spammy character.
Oh.
PK fire! PK fire!
PK fire! And he's got at least range attacks.
Bro, I don't need to
I
be
love his
ranged.
yo-yo.
Watch. You think I'm all ranged, bro? Bro, I'm a dog and a bird. Why would you hit a dog and a bird? That's messed up.
It's literally Banjo-Kazooie. Like, they couldn't get Banjo-Kazooie, so they added this. Think about it. But now they have Banjo-Kazooie, so...
Oh. I should probably figure out if he has any other moves. I don't have it downloaded. Oh.
Oh, good, Doctor. Just have it ready next time. I'm just kidding.
I thought there's range attacks. Why aren't you going range, bro? What happened?
It's about knowing when to choose your battles.
Huh?
Oh my god. I remember when his bat was quicker. Now it takes like a second. It used to be like pretty much instant. Oh,
Alright.
what the?
Alright, bro. That was my secret weapon. I can only use him once. But hey, it worked out. So I'll take it.
When it mattered most, you won.
Exactly. Now I'm not even trying, bro.
No, it won't work ever again, bro.
Yeah, well. If you use a different character, I feel like it would.
No, I'm forever gonna use this character. Or I'll just finish it early. Just so you...
I mean, I could use a different character.
Or I'll put you in a pressure point where, like, you have to use it. So then I'm ready for it.
Or like you just know I'm using him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ow. Oh! I literally walked into that.
Good. Look at that, I'm a 3-stock right now.
No, you're not. If you 3-stock me, then I'm ending stream.
I bet. I guess stream continues.
You're like, I didn't want you to
Stream
end
ends
stream.
when I 3-stock you.
So it'll never end? I don't know.
I can do this all night. What time is it for you right now? Like 9?
No idea.
You got plenty of time. Whichever comes first, the end of the day, or me 3-stocking you. That's when
You're not gonna 3-stock me. Unless I use a character that I like. Oh, that was cool. Bruh!
That's damn right. That's how I felt.
Good.
He's gonna do that, bro.
How does that not reach you? That's shit.
You know what else is shit?
Yeah. This.
Poo-poo.
Poo-poo is shit.
Do you know
that
what
is true.
poop is?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's
Oh
shit.
wait, you don't watch SpongeBob.
Nope, and I
No,
never
poop
will.
is people order our patties.
Oh shit, that was cool.
Oh! That has rain.
Wait. No! So close! Oh, you ran into that. Yo, if I come back right now, that would be sad, bro. You can't lie, though. I'm pretty nasty with him.
You're disgusting, bro. Men only want one thing. Disgusting.
I love those memes. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Let's go. I got you down to 1
What a-
stock. Forget about
What
3
a
stock.
taunt.
Yep.
Wait. Yep. Alright, it's ogre.
Damn it, you changed the direction with that. Oh shit, that was good.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I forgot.
Yeah,
I
nice.
forgot I could do that.
Keep doing it, bro.
Wait, give me a second.
I got you, bro.
Wait.
Oh, you want actually? Okay, go ahead. Oh. Hey.
I used to be good at that. I totally forgot he could do that. Holy crap. Crazy. PK Fire. I gotta play this game though. I've never played Earthbound.
I've never. What?
It seems so cool.
Yo, Oh, I thought I killed you. I was about to say, I just came back. What? Yeah, I've never played that game either.
It seems cool. It seems very interesting.
It seems
Everybody
alright.
always talks about how philosophical the game, the third one is, but Nintendo doesn't want to re-release it.
Oh.
It's about like death and like accepting mortality.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Pikachu is not who I'm picking.
Oh, I'm gonna select the award-winning, Grammy award-winning character. This character won a Grammy, bro.
Which character?
Guess who it is?
Will Smith?
No,
Meta Knight?
Meta Knight.
You won
Yeah,
a
he won a
Grammy?
Grammy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. His song, Meta Knight's whatever.
Oh.
won
I
a
like
Grammy
Meta Knight
like
though.
that. It's a good song. I was like, damn.
Oh, I don't know the song.
Finally. It was like a cover of the song. And it was like crazy. I didn't think games could keep on winning that Grammy. Bro. Oh, let's see. Tanner.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He used to be OP in the Wii version with the Thunder.
The Wii version? You know who was the best character in the Wii version?
Yeah, Pikachu, right?
Who? No, Meta Knight. He
No,
was like-
Pikachu. I used
he
both
was-
of them.
He was what's it called? He was banned. He was too good.
Stop it.
Was like Mickey.
Bruh. Oh, that didn't even do
Look
that
at
much.
that.
Bruh. That did do a lot, actually. Oh, so close! I actually thought I would teleport through you. That's my fault. I actually thought I would work.
Sorry.
Why
You
sorry?
didn't get annoyed at all. I thought you were gonna get mad.
Why I gotta get mad? That was my mistake.
I don't know. Because I was doing.
Yeah, but I use Meta Knight like that too, so I get it.
You suck, bro. You suck. You suck. You suck.
Huh. Imagine I hit you again.
That's so stupid.
Stop!
Yeah, I'm coming.
Bye.
Oh.
Doesn't work forever.
It's really funny when it happens to the other people.
Oh.
Oh no!
That's karma. Instant karma right there.
For what? For being a good Samaritan?
Yeah. Everyone hates Americans now. You don't know that?
Samaritan.
Oh, I thought
Not
you said
American.
American. You're like, no, fuck America.
Smart. I have a speech.
Shut up. You're such a troll. Ah!
Yo. Look at that.
Bro,
no!
you suck! You suck! How'd you die?
It didn't let me move further left.
Bro, I'll take the win. I feel bad. Should I go to Mario Kart? Or should I not feel
No,
bad?
You can do whatever you want, bro.
Oh, Jimmy's not... I had Fairy's stream open. Jimmy, or... Yeah, Jimmy rated Fairy. Aha.
Damn.
So that's why Doctor
So-
came. Yeah, what were we gonna say?
Damn.
Wait, don't hit me,
Is
don't
Jimmy
hit me.
still,
Give me a second.
Is Jimmy still racing?
Okay, I'm good. Is he still a racist? I don't know.
Let's see. So who's racing Mario Kart? BK,
Oh, racing.
Jared.
I'm just joking,
Jimmy.
Doctor. I'm joking with you. He was still streaming on a game. It's so laggy.
Yo, pause. Pause, doctor. What?
What?
That's crazy. He was.
Oh, he
came
came?
when Jimmy.
Yeah. That is pretty
Yo,
crazy.
That's crazy.
Oh, you just ran
I didn't
into
know
that.
I didn't think Doctor would be the kind of person to say stuff like that.
Me neither. I mean, the only way you could be a mod is if you're a bit like that, so. I know how to counter that, bro. Just do this. God damn it! It doesn't even do that much. I mean, it does some damage, but it's like, it looks like it like demolishes you, you know?
What?
Your Hoya!
Oh.
Oh shit!
Does it not do a lot?
Bruh!
It does alright. It does decent.
What'd you say?
Oh, dude. It does
Don't
decent.
leave, Doctor. It was a joke. Unless you have to go to sleep, then, you know. Or you
No,
just...
no,
You
okay.
suck, bro. How do you not know how to recover with him? He's like the easiest character to recover
No,
with.
no. He can't recover. He can't.
Oh, when he does that. Oh, I see.
Yeah, see? I can, like...
Wait, I know the perfect counter to that now.
Your mom?
Huh? Ah!
Your mom gay?
Your mom?
Dude, I'm just doing, like, middle school jokes because I got nothing else to say, bro.
Damn. No wonder you don't have a girlfriend, bro.
This is why I don't say none of this unless I'm...
Unless you're
I'm just
watching
trying
Ping
to,
Pong Boosters.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with you right now. Midlife crisis right now.
Wait, so you're gonna die in like 20 years?
I hope not. That'd be terrible.
Bro, you're
Watching Jinx
sucking,
I get
bro.
stabbed to death. you weren't.
I was dreaming
you
of
were,
you, but I thought it was me the whole time.
You were dreaming a dream of getting stabbed, but in reality you thought it was you, but it was actually in my body. That's crazy. And you told me about it too. Because I wasn't sure.
That is
But
crazy.
you're telling me that I might die, but you didn't know.
Yeah, or maybe I did know. Ah! No, I was trying to be
Don't be-
cool. I was trying to be slick.
What did you say the person looked like that was stabbing you?
I think they were brown. It's very skinny. He was wearing glasses some of the time that he chased me, but he wasn't some of the other time. Mad sexy.
Did he have a beard?
Yeah, he had a beard.
Did he actually?
No, bro, I don't remember. I think the 3 people chasing me were actually like kids. Is that weird?
I don't know, bro. Because you described my coworker, and I think he's crazy.
Oh,
When you said brown and glasses, I was like, does he have a beard? Because I'm gonna try to stay away from him now.
I was trying to describe you, bro.
Oh. But you said brown, so I was like, that's
Yeah.
obviously not me.
Yeah, I know. Ah! I was trying to go along with the, you know, the meme that I'm black. I was trying to make you brown. So you get some internet points, but you didn't go along with it.
Oh, you want me to be your blackbird? I got you.
No.
So what you
Oh,
What
I
are
thought,
you asking me, bro?
bro, that's true. No, that's racist.
That's just how they talk. It's not racist. I know
Actually-
lots of people that talk like that. I'm like, bro, you actually say that? And he's like, yeah, I'm like, damn, bro. What's his name? His name.
I
I
just
forgot.
owned you.
I was talking to this Mike. Mike, he's a light skin.
My cock.
He was like, know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I know what I'm saying. He just kept on saying that. I was like, that's funny. He actually says that.
Then he punched him, and then he punched you in the face because.
Yeah, he helped me fix. He introduced me to this one dude, Eric, and he helped me fix up the bike.
Oh, nice. All right, this is the last
So I
one.
got it-
I'm tired.
This is all right. And then you're gonna leave, or
Or
are you gonna stream Mario Kart?
Bro, I don't know. I'm not that big into. I feel like Mario Kart is fun, but it aggravates me so much, and I don't like that. You know what I mean?
I get that. Kind of like how you aggravated me
For
playing
existing.
as Dog Hunt.
Oh,
fun.
that was great though.
That was horrible.
That was
I lost-
beautiful. I got
I lost money.
and I made money.
It was a solid bet though. It was a solid bet.
Yeah. What? How many subs? And this is for everyone in chat also, if you guys wanna. How many?
Oh, I'm number 1 now.
Oh, you are nice. You passed Cashew. Oh, by 1. Nice. How long should I add for subs for the subathon? What do you guys think? Like, I have my
Like
own idea,
minutes?
but I'm curious to see what like you guys would say. Yeah.
Like how many minutes each sub should be.
Yeah. Or how
So
long?
say a sub adds 5 minutes or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking more like, well, how much is a sub?
$5, but I get $2.50 of it.
We'll say it adds 500 seconds.
I don't know the math for that. How many minutes is that?
I don't know, bro. 500 seconds is not 5 minutes, though. So
500
I think it's
seconds.
like 8 minutes.
Okay.
No.
No, I just said
A minute
500 seconds. What'd you think I
So
said?
500 seconds would be divided by 60.
We didn't hit each other in like 5 hours. Never mind. It's almost 10 minutes,
Playing
yeah?
chess.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be like what?
I was thinking each
500
sub.
divided by.
I was thinking each sub
What
should
were you
add
thinking?
half an hour.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
Each sub?
Yeah, it's
So you
pretty
can
crazy.
maximize it?
This well, no. I don't know if that would maximize it. But well,
Just
I
so you
guess
can-
also kind of. But so I could do a longer stream, I guess. Like a crazy ass stream.
So it's gonna start off as a 24-hour.
That's what I was thinking, but
Or-
maybe it might start off as a 12-hour instead. 'Cause 24 hours is a lot.
But you're gonna, yeah. I mean,
mean-
how long are you thinking you're gonna stream?
Well, no idea. That's the hard thing about subathons. It's like, technically, I have no idea, because someone could just come in out of nowhere and just gift subs, you know? How did you?
Let's see. If you start at 12 and you make it 30 minutes, so then if you make it to, how many subs do you think you're gonna get?
I don't know. That's the hard part about calculating.
I think you're gonna get in the first hour or the first 12 hours, you're gonna get at least 30 subs.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair.
Like,
I
think
want
so.
it. I want it to go for like 2 to 4 days. I feel like that would be cool.
Alright,
Ah.
so if it's 30 subs,
Quick
30
maths.
times 30 minutes. So let's divide that by half. And it's 100. That's 15 hours. Yeah, you would do it for like 15 hours if for 30 subs. So if you
Yeah.
start at 12, it'd be 1 day.
That'd be pretty crazy, right?
I say start as a 24-hour, bro. I don't
Why?
think you. Like, either way, you're gonna do a long ass stream.
Yeah, I was thinking 24 hours initially as well, but if I make each sub like, 15 minute or like half an hour, I feel like, or an hour, I feel like that's fair enough, right? I don't know. I just peeked you to death. Ah!
I'm gonna go commit suicide.
Pika, 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 Pika.
I'm gonna do a bunch of stuff. No, I'm not doing anything.
The only thing is, I
Isn't
thought
it?
the bad thing is like I want it to be like good content too, So obviously
We
after
gotta prep.
yeah, like obviously. But like I don't know if I could prep for like 4 days of content because also I don't have like
Not everybody's gonna be there 24 hours, so like,
yeah, that's true.
and then sometimes repetition's okay because it's you already repeat yourself often. I mean, you
True.
play Mario Kart, you play Mario 64. You did a whole month of Mario 64, so like, there's always content.
Yeah. I don't know.
And I'm down to
Go ahead.
to play games.
Yeah, bro.
Mario Kart. What
Oh, that
other
was
games
cool.
could we play that's fun? Jackbox.
Jackbox is I might do ooh, get out of here.
That
Jackbox
should
might be good.
fun.
Yeah.
If we could get like 5 people.
Well, Jackbox, the only thing is like I don't want like TOS stuff, you know?
Well, it'd be people you trust, not people.
That's true.
So
Alright, that was my
let's
last
say
one.
that was the last one.
Yeah, I'm still down to talk though. I'll just we'll go to Wordle or
Alright.
something, I guess.
Oh, dude.
But
I'll go play. I'm gonna play Donkey Kong. But I'll be talking. Yeah. I don't know.
okay.
If you were to play what's it called? Jackbox? Who would you trust to play with, and how many people would that be?
Wait, I don't know if I want to play anything. I'll just talk to you. Give me a second. Let me disconnect the switch so I could have 2 monitors. All right, I'm back.
Hey.
I think you would be fine. Doctor would be fine. Nathan might be
Everyone-
okay.
Nathan, I wouldn't trust that guy.
Yeah, but you're also like that kind of. Like you troll
Okay.
sometimes, and it's a bit far
I
for
guess
Twitch.
it would be a one strike system.
Nah, not with you guys. Because I think if I told you guys like, oh, like don't do this because it's like TOS, then you guys would stop. Like that's happened in the past with Nathan. So, what the hell? I've never seen
Alright.
this happen to my Spotify before. Oh, okay, that's working.
Well, you hang out with us the most. We don't hang out with each other.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
OBS just crashed.